Okay, so we will gavel in the meeting at 6:36 p.m. Let's start with the roll. Terry Werner.
Here.
Matthew McGovern.
Here.
Maury Domingo. Mike McLeod.
Here.
Sam Houston Clinton.
Here.
Welcome back again, Ryan. Pledge of Allegiance and pledge for the Texas flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor
The Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to one state, God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. And do we have public vote?
No, we have one, Mary Beth Harper.
Mary Beth Harper, step right up. How are you?
At each council member's place, I put a survey. This is from the area agency of aging. And you may not be old, but you will be one of these days.
We may get that one.
Anyway, they do all kinds of wonderful things for senior citizens. Senior citizens is like 55 and up. Anyway, the survey right here, it says to mail it in, but you can drop it in the library drop box out there. We would appreciate it if you would do this. It's very important for the community. They have provided all kinds of free resources to work with. Okay, the other thing, this is a additional lift. Okay, for people that need help with their technology and or you want to learn how to use it. The library bought some Samsung tablets a couple of years ago. Anyway, these have all been updated. And if you go to this class, get once a month, 2-hour class for 6 months, you get to take on your device. And also there, if you have other questions about your technology, just drop in, go to the library, drop in. You do need to register for the classes. They start March 19th from 3 to 5. And anyway, that's information. I'll also have more information at the soup kitchen next week, so everybody else is interested.
Thank you, Carter. No more?
That is.
But there's more?
I'm the only person giving public comments, so now take my time. Okay, the second thing is an events calendar. Okay, this is one that we give to the mayor and to Gianna. And this is just the events that we do. And it changes. And every time it changes, y'all get notice of that. Just to let you know, we're not just sitting over there and reading books.
Not that there's anything wrong
Oh,
with that.
no, we don't have time for it. Okay, the actual comments. Springtime in the library has been very busy. Okay, the weekly events include Lake Go Club, which is Wednesdays at 4:30. Creative Conversations on Fridays from 11 to 12. And then book club. Your book club meets tomorrow from 1 to 2. And you can read any book you want and discuss it. And folks that attend get ideas on other books that they not want to read. Our peer support specialist, George Guerrero, has 2 classes coming up about dealing with stress. The first one is Thursday, March 19th, and the second one is March 26th. Both are from 6 to 7, and they're in the library. Now, he is a trained mental health specialist. And anyway, this is from Brent from St. David's. You do need to call the library director. And he wrote a very nice article in the Lockhart paper last week about dealing with stress. This is kind of like an article you see, glance over it. Anyway, this is if you're going through your screen and you're scrolling, that it does trigger. Sometimes it changes you. You might have good things or bad things. Anyway, that if you in that stress class, that's you do need to call for extra support. Okay, and our digital navigator class that starts March 19th from 3 to 5. And again, you have to register for that too.
Is that different from the tech?
No, it's the same.
It's the same thing.
I wrote this and then I got that. Okay, if you're into arts and crafts, adults, there's Crafters Corner Friday, March 27th from 2 to 3. And for kids, there's Arts and Crafts Hour on Saturday, March 28th from November 12th. Okay, our 6th annual kite day is Saturday, April 11th from 1 to 3 in Bates Park. We're gonna have kites, stomp rockets, frisbees, all kinds of bowls, all kinds of stuff. And the library is also hosting a candidates forum on April 20th at 6:30 p.m. in 413 Main Street, right down here. And it's for all the May City Council candidates. And I hope y'all can attend. Okay, movie night on May the 4th. Get it, May the 4th, we have Star Wars movies. And this is also in 413 Main Street. In June, we'll have two things. So one of these is the Economic Development Bus Tour. This is on June 16th from 10 to 2. You do need to buy a ticket for that. And then the 5th Annual Health and Wellness Fair. This is Saturday, June 27th from 9 to 1. And that's from the St. David's Fair. Oh, our tour support special is also St. David's Fair. Okay, on July the 4th, the city's having the parade, and they're trying to have like an all-day event, I hope. It should be lots of fun. And the library has an exhibit from TSLAC, Texas State Library Archives, about Texas history, and be sent up across the street over there where the courthouse TV set is.
It's gonna be in there?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know if they show in there.
It's cool. You need to look at that courthouse. It's amazing. Okay, two events in ongoing events. Had the tax aid event, AARP tax aid, we're going to get your taxes done. All the appointments are filled. Okay, so don't come in. Let's find someplace else. They love our library. Okay, and then also the Texas America 250 reading challenge. I brought this to y'all last council meeting. Again, you're encouraged to read newspapers, listen to art or your audible books, visit the state park, or volunteer in your community. And once you read or participate for 2,500 minutes, you go to the library, you will put your certificate. Anyway, this goes until December 31st.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
All right then, the next thing after that. Ooh, person. Yes. Thank you. So Jack Connolly is here from IBC Construction. He's giving us a preview of, a new development that is being proposed at the edge of, at the east edge of Martindale. They will be at the planning and zoning meeting that will be next Wednesday. And we will hear more from them there. He just wanted to give everyone sort of a preview and get if there's any major issues or feedback we wanted to give him before the planning and zoning meeting. So I will let him take it away.
Hello, everybody. All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and members of the great city of Martindale community. First, I want to say thank you for giving the opportunity to stand here tonight, and I truly appreciate your time, and I'm humbled to be able to stand in front of you and present something that I believe will bring meaning, something awesome to your town. My name is Jack Connolly III. I'm a native South Texan, born in Corpus Christi, raised in Bevo. My father graduated from San Marcos, go Bobcats. And growing up, I visited this area my entire life. When I turned 21, one of the places I visited first was Cheatham Street Warehouse because it had become kind of like a staple and everybody knew it as landmark. And though I've spent time in the military and now reside in the DFW area, this part of Texas has always and will always be home for me. Over the years, I've watched Texas change, grow, really chill, really slow right here in 10 years. Very normal growth, about 100 people after 10 years, to explosively, as of 2020, things went up right here. So, where is it? Now Buda runs into or Austin runs into Buda runs into Kyle, and the separation of towns now feels like one continuation city, or one continuous city. And whether we like it or not, that kind of growth is coming this direction. Martindale is about to experience something it hasn't seen since its founding in the 1800s, real population growth. The new DR Horton neighborhood already approved. This town can very realistically grow from roughly 1,100 residents to several thousands in the coming years. This kind of change can feel chaotic, or it can feel guided intentionally. And that's why we're here. We're proposing this, what we're proposing sits on the front 8 acres of a larger 16-acre tract at the eastern entrance of Martindale, right off of 130 on Highway 80, about 3 minutes up right here. And let's see where am I at. Our vision is to create a town. Right now, when people drive through Martindale from that direction, there really isn't anything for them to tell them that or to signal to travelers that they've arrived somewhere special. Most people just pass it by, not even realizing there's a town here. Our vision is to create a town center that serves as the front porch of Martindale. Get back to where I'm at. Sorry, I'm trying to double do. Our vision is to create a town center that serves the front porch of something that welcomes people into the community instead of letting the town disappear as traffic moves through. One of the first visions, the first piece of this vision would include a high quality fuel station and fresh market, more like a traditional, sorry, let me get up to this. A high quality fuel station and market designed like a fresh market rather than a traditional gas station. A place where people can buy sandwiches, local goods, and everything, everyday necessities. Office space that can be used by local businesses to support, and also a Dairy Queen, a Texas stop sign, something the community has requested, we're actually requested to come in here. So forgive me for the professional, I'm trying to make sure y'all see everything as I'm talking. A modern river style lodging to respect and reflect the characteristics of the San Marcos River and local landscaping. A modern tunnel car wash with full recycling system. A welcome to Martindale sign, bringing a welcome to Martindale monument sign, constructed in stone that marks the entrance to the town. Behind the community portions of the rear, what happened here? Behind the community, or behind this commercial portion in the rear portion of the property would eventually include home style or townhome style residential units designed to support the growth of the town while keeping development compact and thoughtful. This 8 acres currently has no zoning and is not a part of the city limits. We will be requesting to annex those and that area to bring it into the city limits. But more than buildings, the goal is to create a place the city itself can point to in the future and say, this is the standard. This is what we want development in Martindale to follow. A place that reflects the historical characteristics of the town while still preserving or preparing it for its future. We understand that growth brings concerns, and we've taken those seriously. One of the biggest priorities for Martindale is protecting the San Marcos River and the aquifer system, and that's something we fully support. Our design includes a centralized draining runoff containment system, oil and water separation before anything leaves the property, and a modern environmental protection that prevents runoff contamination. For the landscaping, we're going to use drought-resistant plants. For the landscaping, we're going to use drought-resistant plants that minimize irrigation to help reduce water demand during dry season. The car wash system itself already recycles most of its water, which allows for it to be, or that's why most cities usually say go use the car wash during their drought season instead of washing car in your car in the yard. Now, I want to be so our intention is not to build something just to build something attractive, but something that respects the natural resources that makes Martindale special. Now, I want to be very transparent with you. Everything I've just described is a part of a larger vision, and we're excited about the possibility of building it here in Martindale. However, for this vision to even begin, we need the approval of 2 special use permits, one for the fuel station and one for the tunnel car wash that y'all suggested and asked for. The front portion of the property is already commercially zoned, and the majority of the project falls within the zoning that's already allows. But the fuel station is what allows the first phase of the project to move forward. And that phase is what brings the rest of the development to life. Without that first step, this project simply can't begin. So tonight, what we're really asking for is the opportunity to start the process, to build the entrance to Martindale in a way that reflects the pride and identity of the town. Martindale has a rare opportunity right now. The town still has the ability to set the tone for the future before growth arrives in full force, before thousands of new residents arrive, before development decisions get made by people who may not have the same connection to this town. Right now, the people who love Martindale still have a chance to shape what it becomes. And I can tell you honestly, we believe in Martindale. And we believe it deserves thoughtful development, not rushed development. We believe it deserves a welcoming front door. And if given the opportunity, we would be honored to work with the city to help create that. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank y'all for bearing with me through that.
Painful as it was for you.
Yeah, no, it's just, I've never done the mouse with it, but yeah, no. So what questions does everybody have about this, and what slide would anybody like me to go back to?
Any units designated for affordable housing or section 8?
No, everything is conceptual at this moment, and anything we'll be willing to listen to anything that would be needed to be done at that point. Right now, this is more about, can we even purchase the land to do this with the special use permits to start this whole process? That's really where we're at with this.
What kind of townhomes?
54, roughly, 50 to 54, something like that, I think is what we're proposing. But that's all, that's down the way. That's something that we'd be glad to talk to anybody about, what your thoughts were and stuff. This is just conceptual of what we feel like with what's already here to do more of a townhome style, something that, in my opinion, so when I did this right here, Caddo Mills isn't a city I used by random. I lived in Caddo Mills and got a house there in 2020. Okay, in 2020, I had my own business doing residential and outdoor living. So all the fireplaces, all the patios, all the things you see, right? Well, the permitting lady and I got very close with all that time working together, and I watched D.R. Horton come in. The first year it pulled 314 permits. The next year it pulled 364 permits. The next year it was 400. That's a house per permit. Now we've gone from 1,400 people in 2020 to now 5,600 and something people at the beginning of 2025. They've opened up 2 phases, which is over 600 houses since that happened, and they've already completed 2 more in the last couple months. The projections on their economic report, which I believe I put up here or down there, shows that in 2029, it'll be over 15,000 people. And what it started as was just a little town away from everything. And they didn't think, now they have had to build 3 schools, a new high school, and they have 1 light in the town that's controlled by the state. They can't even widen the roads or anything like that. It just didn't have thoughtful development, and I can show you towards the end the size of the D.R. Horton neighborhood compared to the size of the town. Those 2 neighborhoods right there, little towns right here, this little tiny red dot. I wish I could zoom in more for you. But this will be available on the website, I believe. And is that me moving or is that y'all?
Me, I was trying to submit it.
Here, you do that.
No,
Take this away from me, no. I've been fighting with that thing and I thought.
Hey, Jack, I got a quick question.
Yeah, of course.
I assume you're aware of the sewage treatment plants, that there's a lack of them here.
Everything that we,
What are y'all, how are y'all gonna solve that particular problem?
I believe everything we were planning on doing is building our own, all of it.
Your own treatment plant?
Water well too, I think. There's no water goes out there. I don't believe there's any lines going out there for water, is there?
Yeah, there's
Again,
one. There is.
it's water.
It's in Westbridge.
Westbridge.
Okay,
Cool,
cool.
back to the treatment plant, so what type of treatment plant are you gonna, design or build?
I'm not the person that those people will be here for zoning and planning with all those kind of questions right now. I don't have specifics on that. All I know is that because it's conceptual, everything's willing to be talked about. And if something is a necessity or needed, or that's the conversation we'll have before we draw the actual engineering
I mean,
plan.
just to give you a little insight,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned the San Marcos River, we're very, at least, I think the rest of the council feel the same way. We're real critical about discharge. And we would really like to do a 0 discharge recycle if you do a facility to recycle all that, sewage for your landscaping or whatever. And,
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
and purple pipe, are you all gonna use purple pipe or that type of thing?
All of those questions would be great. Why? The answer to that this next, honestly, truly, I'll get my emails with you and I'd love to have a list of that kind of questions so that next week I can have the actual answers for you.
Okay.
That's, yeah,
So I do have a question. Are you aware of the 50% impervious cover in the commercial zone?
I'm not. again, I'm here to present this to get that to find these questions out. This is why I was reaching out for the week before to try to be able to have these conversations before these meetings so that I could have adequate answers, but I don't like to BS or talk about something I don't know 100%, but I'm glad to answer everything by next week to its full intent.
When is the planning and zoning meeting?
Next Wednesday.
The 11th?
6:30 p.m.
Next Wednesday.
So no-
Everyone's invited. Bring your questions.
Please come. And if anybody has any questions, concerns, anything, please, this is the fun part of the phase. If we get the approval for the special use permit for the fuel and stuff, then all of this can come to life. And the beautiful thing about where we're at with it is we see the vision for this town and we see what it can be. I want to be able to come in and that place be opened up every day because there's enough people to support it to be open every day. I came here Monday and Tuesday trying to get a steak and I had to kill my steak. I didn't know it wasn't open. But, and I met the other great man, I met his little baby, met all the different things, and it's a beautiful place. And honestly, I called my wife and told her, I said, that's probably one of the best steaks I've had. It tastes like what I would have seasoned at home. And then the DFW, ever since COVID, nothing's cooked right. And so I come down here and gain about 10 pounds because I get all my food up real quick. I think I brought Chipola's Tacos last time I was here for my hometown in Meadville just because it's better than any place I found until Miss Deanna told me about the one over in San Marcos, and that wasn't bad. It was good this morning. Loli's was good. But we see the potential of this town, we see where it's going. We just want to be a part of it to help out because when you're coming from that direction, even off the highway, right now there's nothing signifying this town exists. There will be a river lodging sign, there will be a gas station, there'll be all kinds of signs, and the Dairy Queen sign will be on there, pulling people off the highway. Once the R Horton neighborhood comes in here, all coming from San Marcos is gonna come up, people are gonna use the toll coming back from work. And what's already a busy street's gonna be even busier coming through. I believe that it'll be a great way for people coming into town. The other one too, I got told yesterday when I was at the restaurant, I talked to Miss Summer. They used to own this place right over here, and she said that one of the hardest parts right now is another fuel station that's open right here. You can't get gas once it's closed. So if you happen to leave early in the morning, they're not open yet, you gotta hope you get to the next gas station if you forgot. We'll have 24-hour fuel service, whether or not the building is open at all, we'll go on y'all's opinions, whether or not we have a 24, whatever like that, but the actual fuel will be able to be used 24/7, so there'll be never a lacking of, oops, I forgot, well, my wife didn't do it, let me go run and do that real quick before she goes, whatever the cases are.
One quick question, Jack. I've been doing this way too long. I've been doing this stuff for 8 years. My little space has always been, this is not Pflugerville, this is Martindale, we're on the San Marcos River.
Right.
It's only the two spring-fed rivers.
Right.
New Braunfels and San Marcos in here. So the reason that river's so beautiful because of there's no, the only treated water going in is in San Marcos.
Yeah.
And that's it's to a very high standard. So
I agree.
So I mean, development's a good thing, but we have, this is a special area
Of course.
because of the river. It's not like a Pflugerville or.
No, and I don't treat it as such, just
So
like, you know.
just to let you know, me personally, the treatment plant is very, very important to me. Like, really the best thing to do, we could cover this next week, and I'll call you. But
please.
again, with zero discharge, when you have anything going in the stream bed, like cancer drugs, birth control, that goes
Oh,
into.
you're telling me I grew up on well water and I
So
don't
that-
like water.
That's what's critical about having zero discharge, recycle all your water.
I agree 100% with that. I love that. Make sure to have that conversation with everybody in the org too.
Okay.
And with what they're gonna bring with their irrigation systems that they're gonna put in, 'cause I've seen people do that. Where the irrigation systems get so much that it drains on the well because most people don't know to think about that because they've never experienced it. They come from the land of plenty and all that, right? Well, I know that everything is not gonna go and drain off anywhere. Everything is gonna be recycled stuff that we have our own runoff tank right here that we'll have, but anything you can get for that, happy.
So that's your retention pond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's already figured in, and where we're at comparatively to the river is nowhere near any of that.
Are you in the 500-year floodplain? I either.
Don't think we're in any floodplain whatsoever.
No flood at
So
all.
when you're coming off, when you exit 130, you come down 80, right where it says welcome to Martindale and the population sign, that parcel right there is what I'm talking
It's
about.
pretty high. Man.
Yeah, it's before any of that, no worries at all, respectfully, wouldn't buy it if it was in floodplain. Wouldn't wanna put all this in here because we'd either have to build it up too much or just it wouldn't make sense and lead towards problems in the future.
So it is on the corner, I saw the sign on West Ridge, and so
Yes.
is that side road, is your property on West Ridge itself? Because you
yes,
showed
technically,
West
West
Ridge.
Ridge, there's a sign for it, I wish I had my, I can film on this side of the screen.
This side of, yeah, you had a picture of that corner.
Yeah.
I think it was at the beginning when you showed the grassy.
Yes, sir, where all the stuff is, what I'm getting back to, I did the Google image off of that one. I actually went and made a video of it this morning, driving from town to it, and then from it to town.
Right there.
So, whoops, don't you do that to me. Let me get over here.
I think it was on the next one,
It
maybe.
is, I'm just there, Bill. I'm not left-handed, but I have left-handed kids, so I learn. So right here, when you come in off 130, you come in about 3 minutes down the road, right across from the entrance to the Hopkins Cemetery. What was that name of that cemetery right there? And there's a big billboard that's kind of falling apart. That's right across the street. So this parcel right here, this
That's
is,
the,
this is the road.
that's the population sign right
Yes, the
there.
population sign is right here. And then,
He's home for instance.
It's Humphreys.
there you go, this name. I apologize.
And that's West Ridge.
And this is West Ridge right here, going this way, and this is the 80 coming towards town that way.
Well, we should try and reach out to the people of West Ridge, because when they originally bought all those plots there, they're bigger plots, like 10 acres or so, and they like to have those larger pieces of land. I think the traffic and the light and the noise, I mean, would impact them more initially. I mean, I'd like to see some
But it's already zoned commercially to be having something like that put into it. That's already been done before, guys.
zoned commercial, not on the whole piece, but just in the scenic corridor. I
The
mean,
front 8 acres of it is where everything's being proposed. The back 8 is gonna be proposed for the,
And let me
Yeah,
share
houses
screen
later.
super quick.
yeah, take it from me.
No, you heard them just share screen to the students for the Zoom viewers, since we're looking at visual.
Currently, this is in the E
Oh,
ETJ.
there you
ETJ,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
in the
the
ETJ.
whole piece of land?
Yes,
Oh,
he is in the ETJ right now.
okay.
Because with our city limits is on only Westbridge is the exception going the other side. You can see the map ready.
So I saw 3 silos in the back that are up high. Are those for looks or?
That was
do they
for the
store
imagery for
water?
my design. It was to give an homage to these silos.
Uh-huh.
Now, again, conceptual, we wanted to kind of pay tribute to it, the silos, everything, even replacements of things, landscaping, all that stuff, even the design of this sign right here
Mhm.
is up for, it's just conceptual.
Yeah.
This is, I'm from South Texas. I sat down, I came here, spent a week without anybody knowing I was here before this time. Got to know it, make sure everything still felt the same way it did. Went down, talked to my grandmother and the Wacky Widows crew. There are 9 people that are over the age of 80. They just lost one, so it's 10, it's 9 instead of 10. But that's my little group I consult with, because I've witnessed too many places get run over by stuff. And I see a little town right here, and I came excited to go to the bakery. Is it closed completely now, or is it still open? I came by and I saw this right here, and I see that happening too much for people who have great ideas, but not enough people to keep it going. And you can't expect the towns that's barely hanging on right now to be able to support everything like that. As soon as that neighborhood goes in, sky's the limit with everything. I literally watched it, and I had my own business, and I hardly had to leave my own neighborhood. Doing outdoor living for about 6, 7 months because there were so many people that just wanted more things. It breeds a community, but if not guided and directed, that community can come in with the expectation of what they think a river town is. The next thing you know, all the rain drain off, everything like that, and that's what we hope to prevent. And right here with what we're proposing, this gives people a chance when the schools come in, when those neighbors come in to rush hour to have a place to go, stop off, even the 18-wheelers that are coming through, different things like that, have a place to just appreciate the town, stop, take a breath, and realize that a couple minutes down the road is a quite cute little town. Plus all that money will be able to come in here to help y'all and show you what Cattle Mills did. It's been beautiful. Which also just, Permitting also asked me to tell y'all that she'd be happy to answer any questions for y'all, what they've experienced. Maybe help y'all have guidance on what is to come based on that. Now, miss out on some stuff. Just like I said, we believe in this town. This is my second home away from home. I'm down here as much as I can be. And it gives me an excuse to go see my grandmother. So that's why I come down and I love this little place. So when I come down here next time, y'all see me floating the river down there, don't judge me. What other questions? And please do make a list for me. Let's talk and let me get down with everybody and we'll get you the answers to.
Hey, Mayor, can I make a suggestion? We've done this before, have a little preliminary meeting. We can't have a quorum, but have a preliminary meeting with you guys before the planning and zoning. That's very beneficial.
I'd be happy to.
Would y'all agree with that, Mayor?
Oh, okay,
Have a little preliminary way, you know.
We can just call them.
Or step
Whatever.
in, right? Get me-
Whatever, but I mean, that's,
Synchrony,
okay, well, whatever.
Jack did reach out to you guys, I believe, too.
Yeah, you went
Now, I can tell you that we, a lot of times we meet in person, but that's, we done it in the past.
Yeah, and we're happy to do whatever, yeah, 100%. It's nothing for us. I just need a day of notice to organize my stuff to come here and the other guys live in Cedar Ridge, so it's nothing but an hour drive. It's
But do we need
absolutely-
to approve the permit today?
No, ma'am,
No.
it's just me introducing.
Okay.
they're
No, no,
coming to the
No
planning.
decisions are made. I want this to get it, I want it to be a chance and I appreciate the opportunity, like I said, just so that we can let y'all know. We've been thinking about this, trying to get this kind of rolling since about November. So we're getting the chance to actually talk to people and see, and before we purchase the land, we gotta make sure that this whole is even feasible, or we're not gonna purchase the land.
Mhm.
We have closing coming up and different stuff like that, so we're, just wanna make sure it's the right decision for everybody.
So Jack, this is an introductory meeting to residents and council. At what point will y'all be ready to pull the trigger, if you will? Yay or nay?
As we get a yay, it starts.
When do, I mean, when does a yay or nay need to be made for your investors?
Straight possible, yeah. If we can get it, what was, I believe we're on the track right now to have, we can,
Here,
back in, April.
Yeah, so the planning and zoning, will make a decision, a recommendation to city council on March 11 at 6:30 p.m. That is a recommendation for, either the approval or denial of this specific use permit. Then on April 2nd, on the regular city council meeting at 6:30, city council will either move forward with that recommendation or whether it's an approval or a denial from the planning and zoning meeting on March 11th. And that's when Jack will get solid yay or nay. And from there, that's the soonest that they can start closing on their.
And then we'll get all the engineering plans actually done and all that, and then it'll just be the process starting, as fast as y'all want to move, we move. And we're pretty quick and move pretty quick, we're not the whole buy and sit on type things, it doesn't make any sense. We love to get this thing going, and I'd love to get it going too, because my grandmother really appreciates the amount of trips we made down here, so. For me, admittedly, it's fun. Get me out of the DFW traffic hole, please. So, and forgive this, I couldn't get that to be a star, but obviously it's stuck in that plus sign. So. But genuinely though, I don't know if you've had a chance to be in a store like this, it makes it a lot more fun to just, we want to keep the river-esque kind of flow to it. And I'm sorry, man, y'all deserve a Dairy Queen a long time ago. You just can't be a small town, South Texas, without having a Dairy Queen. You gotta have, we get the Jalitos anytime you need them, man.
we have more than one flashing light, and we even
I'm proud of that,
have
that's cool.
two stoplights. I feel dejected.
I know, I agree, we have, yeah, no, that's fair. This system right here, this is gonna help out a lot, cause I know y'all mentioned that you put out that you need to go through car washes and stuff like that instead of doing drought stuff. And the recycling systems on these things are amazing. It really is. It's beneficial, but yeah. So anything and everything, man. There's nothing I'm scared of. Please, by all means. I may not have the answer, but I'll get it for you as soon as I can. Thank y'all very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Genuinely
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting and.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
And have a cookie on your way out.
I got some breakfast tacos back there if you want one.
Go ahead, I got some waiting for me in the morning. I'll start ready. Thank you, dear, very much. And again, thank y'all very much. Y'all take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, up next is municipal court judge, the Honorable Andrew J. Cable. He has an overall, report for y'all about the entire court. And then y'all can ask him the questions that you have.
What I did, Deanna, did you pass those out? It's, I made a timeline. It's kind of monotonous, but it'll provide an opportunity for y'all to get better questions or to come up with some good questions. And again, this is a kind of a timeline since I was invited to come be the municipal judge and where we are now. And I've asked for, Ms. Bowles is my court administrator in the common court. He has recently, at the request of the city manager and city administrator, city manager, city administrator.
Administrator.
City administrator and has come in and did some evaluating and has something to report as well. Again, if you'll let, it's kind of monotonous, let me go over a timeline and put this into context of what the intent was to move the court forward. When I met with the court, I met with the council back in September of 2024. I was invited over here to speak to the possibility of interviewing for the judge position. I talked to the council at that time about accessibility, consistency, and of course, accountability to the citizens. That is by far, obviously, what is the main duty to do. In that time of 17 months, the city's had some challenges. We're on our third city administrator. We've had 3 court clerks. We've had 2 city attorneys. And with that in mind, understand that there's been some challenges. In October, I accepted the position, was sworn into office. I sent a sample contract to the mayor and the city attorney to reference for creating a formal contract. And it was just simply a simple contract of the one that I have with the city of Cobb. Some of these have the month on them and some have the actual date on them. October 28th, I met with the court staff to review the caseload and docket status. Staff reported that no warrants have been issued since before COVID. Court was not effectively utilizing the Omni-based scofflaw program, which actually prevents someone from redoing their driver's license. Warrants were not being utilized. No collection agency was under contract. Court was not meeting in person. Court software and code was not capable of scanning or processing one payment. The answering machine did not allow for a message to be left. Show cause hearings were not being utilized to ensure defendants could follow up on court orders, and staffing was inconsistent without supervision. November 5th, established a recurring court date. Court was to be held on third Tuesday of every month. I made myself available. The agreement was that we hold court once a month. I chose myself to make myself available in person the first Tuesday in addition to the third Tuesday, and of course be on call 24 hours a day via phone or text. Or he explained to Letty, who was the lead clerk at the time, that Mary Alice desperately needed to be cross-trained and directed staff to use Omnibase more effectively. Asked staff the following to do for me at my first meeting. Create a list of open warrants to be reactivated. When that happened, I actually signed over 850 warrants that had been left in limbo, not to be created, which is incredible. Create a list of open cases without dispositions to set show cause hearings to make sure everybody was back in compliance. To contact the Texas Municipal Court Training Center to update them on the new judge information. To create a monthly warrant list for Chief Ward to utilize until the court had access to COPSing. To communicate with City Attorney Kent Wadmore regarding a new in-person court schedule to make sure he knew that the court was going to be held in person. Additionally, explained that the Texas Municipal Court Training Center could assist staff in state reporting requirements and procedures and emphasize the importance of using them as a resource for the court staff to be well trained. In December, lead clerk, a month later, lead clerk Letty submitted her resignation. The next day after she submitted her resignation, I met with staff. I initiated steps to get MBBA presentation in order. MBBA is a collection agency that would it actually takes all the delinquencies and for not a fee to the city, but a fee to the defendant, starts collection processes, taking all that off of the court staff. Since at that time I only had one, since one resigned. Inquired about online bill pay, reported that they were in communication with the city manager. Inquired about posting clerk position to replace Letty. That was in December of 2024. Reiterated that Mary Alice needs training in for ongoing clerks. Asked Letty to explain DPS. Letty was still here, was going to help train and continue on with Mary Alice. Asked Letty to explain DPS conviction reporting and OCA reporting to Mary Alice prior to her departure. December 17th, contacted MVBA for a presentation. They actually came, Marcelinas came and confirmed communication with Mayor Blaze at the time, and would be placed on the council meeting agenda to present reflections. Explain to staff that Tuesday docket will include trials, pre-trials, and show cause hearings. I reminded Mary Alice to please contact city manager regarding a timeline for online pay. Correct the answer machine to allow to leave messages, arrange in-person training with Encode. Shared that with city administrator Jared at the time that we have a clerk sitting in a position that is not trained. January 26th, attended city council meeting in which MVBA gave a presentation. Met with Jared at that time to reiterate the necessity for online payment, the need to upgrade Encode for online storage. The court was not and is not utilizing available collection tools, Omnibase and VBA support. The need for Encode representation to come in person to Martindale and do training in person. And I emphasize that the court operations has to be consistent. January 30th of 2025, inquired with staff regarding status of online payment and the answer machine. I don't recall that I got an answer. February 4th of 2025, met with Mary Alice. Sorry. I have retina issues in one eye. I'm done work. Met with Mary Alice regarding the following: update on online payments, update on MVBA, inquired about current status of citation entries that were not current, reiterated the necessity to make sure that she is up to date on DPS and OCA reports in compliance with state regulation. Mary Alice stated she contacted Judge Townsend from Luling and got some help from her. Requested again a current warrant list for Chief Ward. Again, I know this is monotonous, but it'll help y'all be able to ask some questions. February 18th of 2025, inquired about hiring the clerk to replace Letty. Noted that Mary Alice was working Monday through Thursday, as that was the hour of the court. Asked for an update on Encode training. April 2025, Mary Alice expressed frustration, stating that she never intended to work more than 60 hours a week. She was doing her best and did not feel welcome. Made interim contact with interim manager Javi, made him aware of Alice's concerns. October 27th, 2025, corresponded with Mayor Sanchez Fowler and Mr. Hudson, reiterated the importance of the court maintaining consistent hours of operation, stated the efficiency of the court is directly tied to the council's willingness to invest in staffing and technology. When questioned regarding staff performance, I said I'd be willing to talk about Mary Alice in person. December 2025, Candace was hired, working 24 hours per week. My thought was that she was going to be working it'd be covering 24 hours a week. Candace and Mary Alice were scheduled to overlap once per day. That was the agreement when we interviewed. Mary Alice subsequently resigned. January 2026, contacted Kyle Municipal Court Administrator Jenny Bowles to establish where the court is in relation to compliance standards and how best to go from here. Jenny is currently contracted with the City of Martindale on a weekly basis to actually help assist in training Candace. Current status: the court is currently staffed 2 days per week with inconsistent scheduling. This is not ideal or sustainable for court operations. In conclusion, for the court to operate into standard in an effective and efficient, consistent manner, it's my opinion that the 2 clerk positions are necessary for the office to be open 4 days a week. Additionally, Encode 9 software, needs updating with online bill pay. Clerks would benefit from additional training in person from Encode representative, as well as enrolling in training seminars provided by Texas Municipal Court Training. These changes will set the Martindale Municipal Court up for continued success and better serve the community. With that caveat being said, Mr. Hudson, he is a city administrator that's well aware of what it takes to properly manage and facilitate a working board for the community, and we're not at that point, and not even close. So I know that's a timeline, so I'm gonna do it.
Is it accurate, that my recollection is that Encode 9 is going to no longer have any support to it because or is it that we have 8 and 8 will no longer be supported? Forcing us to upgrade to, I think it's 9 that we have, it's no longer gonna be
Yes, I
supported.
have to ask.
And we need to upgrade to 10 if we're gonna stay with Encode, or we need to find it.
I don't mean any disrespect. I've been asking this for 17 months
Yes.
and I haven't got an answer.
Mhm.
So for my, just to make sure I understand, when you say the Encode software needs to be upgraded, you're not talking about version upgrade, you're talking about a whole new, like from 9 to 10 or what?
I've asked consistently to have a representative from Encode come and tell us from Tyler Tech to tell us what, can this be salvaged? Can it be utilized in a way that we can upload information into it and get rid of all these files and move into?
I can tell you the answer to that.
What's that?
No. That's what, in order to do that, we have to upgrade to 10. The current system that we have does not allow us to scan in files. It's not a case management module. You'd have to add an extra module onto what we have currently. And that module would allow that case management, and it would also allow us to work with the people that are collecting the warrant information. NVBA.
And Mayor, I apologize, I interrupted you. The reality of that is if that's true, is the city willing to take on that endeavor? That's very expensive. The day I sat here and said that I could bring productivity to this court and make people accountable for the citations that are being written. And guys, we're talking about hundreds of thousands and maybe even $1 million that is sitting out there uncollected because this court is not moving forward with technology. And I've been complaining from day one. I'm not looking for fault. I'm just saying there's going to have to be a commitment from the court that wants to, if y'all want that to happen.
Commitment
From the council, if you want that to happen. We can't have people calling to take care of their ticket and there's no clerk when the website says Monday through Thursday. That's not what the citizens of Martindale deserve. And quite frankly, I gotta be honest, I love this opportunity. I do it in other places and I'm good at it. I don't want my name on that. I don't want my Judge Cable name on that.
Would you mind if we heard?
Yeah, she's way smarter and way better.
Because Jenny, you've been working so closely
Yeah.
to train.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Council Governor, he contacted me and asked if I had been invited, and I said I hadn't, I'm always willing. And I said, just so happens when he got in contact with me, and I'd already talked to the mayor about getting put on and put myself on.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry that's so monotonous to read, but that's the only way I can track how we've gotten here.
Thought it was very useful.
Can I ask?
Well, I'm sorry, Jenny, can you tell us just a little bit more about our current status of the court compared to Kyle, that obviously is bigger, but in terms of like, what have you observed and what is the status of our records, our software?
So,
Cause you
Yeah, I'm gonna
are
hold on a
the senior,
We're not-
right?
Y'all are not that small.
Okay.
Y'all aren't as small as you think in comparison to how many tickets are being generated and how many warrants are.
We have a lot of traffic
Yeah.
that comes
You
through
have-
here.
You have a population of 1,000, you have a daytime population of about 30,000.
Yeah, no, and I've been here since January, helping out once a week. Y'all are busy. I mean, when I first got here, I didn't think it was gonna be as busy as y'all are. It's doable with 2 clerks, part-time clerks, but with a part-time clerk, 2 days a week is not doable. You will never catch up. What I have seen is a lot of inconsistencies. The fines are not right. What the officers were giving out and what I see in the system is not correct. What I'm looking at in the paper dockets, because y'all have paper dockets to, we don't have that in Kyle, I mean, but we're bigger. So we actually use Municipal Court Justice 10 now, and we scan everything. It's very efficient and there's not this issue where we're gonna have a lot of human error, obviously. What I'm looking at, and it's just me being honest, I look at the paper docket and then I'm looking at the electronic docket. and things aren't jiving, the fines aren't consistent. So there's a lot of error, and I'll be honest, every single case that me and Candace come across is incorrect. And so you're having to fix those, and that's a lot of work, you know, and it shouldn't be that way. Because the citizens and the defendants that come in, we should be able to be helping them and giving them the correct information. You know, I pride myself on doing that when, you know, I'm the court administrator in Kyle, so it's very important to me that things are correct and things are done right. Because people talk and they're gonna say, oh my God, they don't know what they're doing, and then you look inefficient, and then you look like you don't know what you're doing, and that reflects poorly on the city, that reflects poorly on the judge, and, you know, we certainly don't want any of that. So, I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I will be honest, when I first got here, I didn't think it was gonna be as bad as it is, but, I just think things just kind of went from bad to worse. Maybe whomever was in charge at the time just didn't do what they were supposed to, and it kind of just piled up. So now, you know, me and Candace are trying to fix those things. And it's a lot of work. A lot of the state reports haven't been done in a long time. The OCA report, which is the monthly report, I contacted the state to see when was the last time that report was done, and it hasn't been done since 2024. So in order for me to do that, that's a monthly report. So in order for me to catch up, I gotta go back to 2024. And I believe they told me it was September of 2024, and I've got to make sure all of those numbers are done correctly in order for this month's numbers to be correct. You know, because they transpose and transpose. So that one's a big one. The conviction reporting hadn't been done since, I think I told you, since 2019. And that's supposed to be done weekly. So, yeah, I mean, I do my conviction reporting every single week.
Could you explain about conviction reporting and what that means and why you think it hasn't been done? Well, you don't know why it hasn't been done, but can you explain what conviction reporting is then?
So a conviction is like when a defendant comes in and they have a speeding ticket. I'm just gonna kind of just make it easy. And they don't want to keep it off their record. They just want to pay it. And because they don't want, for whatever reason, they don't want to keep it off their record, they pay it, so they get a conviction, and it goes on their record. And then it could be on their driving record for what, like 7 years or something like that. So that has to get reported to the state of Texas, to DPS. And we have to make sure and report that within 7 days of the judgment. So 7 days of that case being found, of that defendant being found guilty, we have to report that to the state of Texas.
Quick question, you said a minimum of 2 clerks, and how many hours a week with how much?
Well, I think there were 20 hours, right, Judge?
And I apologize, Councilman. What y'all had was 2 16-hour clerks.
What do you think we need minimum?
What I thought when Candace was being hired, what I understood was being proposed was, and I apologize, I'm trying to think, 2 24-hour clerks, a Monday, Tuesday, a Wednesday, Thursday, and on court day, they're double, because to move a court efficiently when my big deal is not making citizens wait.
Got it.
Right.
And the efficiency is when you have one clerk doing court and then one taking payments.
Got it.
So I don't know if y'all could, I've never.
That's the same way that the utility clerks work
That's-
as well.
You and I sat and we interviewed Candace, I apologize, I speak out. You and I, Mary, we sat there when we interviewed Candace, and the attempt was to mirror what the utility clerks were doing. And then the young lady, I forgot her name, Mary Alice, she quit.
So
went out
another question, I know you probably want to answer, how much would it approximately cost us to update our computers or our software to?
I hate to lean on, he knows way more than all of us in the room.
It's not cheap.
And again,
If that information, you can, if we went from Encode 9 to 10, I'm gonna estimate it's going to be probably around $50,000.
Is there any grants?
I thought that they told us it was only 10. That's weird.
No,
Really? I believe you.
Is
No,
there
I believe
any, is there any grants or anything or
I
programs out there?
Uh,
You know, it's not your department.
Council, and if I
You
could,
hear
you know,
mine.
I want her to speak, because she's so much better. But I'm not coming to point or look at fault and saying that this city is bigger than y'all think it is when it comes to the movement through your town. Y'all are making decisions, y'all think y'all are making decisions on 1,000 people live here, you're not. You're making decisions on 30 plus 50,000 run the streets here. Guess what they do? They get tickets. They go to the store. They violate an ordinance. And I think your court, I mean, it's only gonna get busier.
I just wish we had known about this sooner. I wish we had known how big the problem was, because I honestly,
I don't think
I didn't-
anyone knew.
I didn't
And,
know.
and in defense, and again, I'm not pointing blame. I could come and defend myself. I mean, I made it clear every single time I was here. In fact, I got to the point where I quit bitching about it, honestly.
I
And I'm
understand.
not pointing blame, but again, not including two different mayoral, but that's part of the city. Of course, you're gonna have turnover in your placements. But in 17 months, you've had 3.5, I think, administrators, 3 clerks, and 2 city attorneys. There's no consistency, and I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying there's expected that there might be some issues in.
You've had to keep repleting your case
Yeah.
every time to different
And
people.
again, if I come in and it's hit and miss, I mean, it's not, I'm not complaining, it's just the way it is. The city manager's not always here when I'm here. The city attorney's only here when I have court. And again, and I'm not tooting my horn, but I've made myself, just for consistency, I come double what I come double the time I agreed to. Cause I wanna see this succeed. I've got a track record. Her court was just like this court, just bigger and worse. And
Really.
and
Well,
worse.
I guess what we need as a council, we need actual information. How many, what's it gonna cost us for the 2 clerks? How much that software is gonna cost us, so we get a figure.
We have the cost of the labor, we put that in.
And we need to know about the software to change the software, cause that way we kinda know as a council
right.
and.
Well, and it sounds like it would make us a lot of money once we were able to collect all those.
What I would
These software.
propose is y'all are gonna have to have a clerk that, not that Candace can't do it. You're gonna have to have a clerk that you put through book school.
Yeah.
And make sure they catch up real quick, or hire somebody to facilitate that or have it happen.
I don't even really know how long Mary Alice worked here and whether or not she was trained.
And I have to say this, I don't,
She went to
I
court.
only saw Mary Alice every once in a while, but the young lady before did not train Mary Alice. And I mean, she was the clerk here in 2019 when she wasn't doing conviction reports. I worry about things that get the city in trouble.
Me too.
Having people arrested that don't have a warrant, issue a warrant for arrest, that the person did show up, but nobody was here to say, state the
It's obviously somebody like you. It's obvious.
Those are
Very obvious.
I think
Well, she was just,
But
not just
but-
clerk. She was a court clerk and then she became an administrator.
But can I point out one thing about that? Her salary, I'm not trying to be indelicate, but just to be realistic, her salary is so much higher. She would never come here for $15 an hour. So to hire somebody that has her kind of skill, it's way over what we're paying
I'm
currently.
just saying, we need somebody with it's.
Right.
But you won't get that
But
for
I think
$15
if
an
you
hour.
get somebody that is retired, that has court experience,
Do you
You know,
have,
I
do
think so.
do you have that type of, I mean, is there any kind
Yes, get ready to retire.
Dignity.
of? I mean, listen,
Yes, Councilman, that I know y'all are committed to death. But get a couple of people to look at it and have the software people come out and give a presentation. Have, and I'm not a clerk. I wouldn't know how to
so
run
it's
the first report.
just me looking in, coming in, so it's like it's a lot of a clerk issue that we need people that are properly trained in, and can you really get somebody for $15 an hour that's gonna do the job? I would-
But I'm sensitive to y'all's budget. Y'all are looking, I don't know what y'all's budget is, but I mean, y'all are as busy as my Wimberley court. I'm the judge of Wimberley, and we have civil, we have a lot of civil. But traffic wise, I have 2 full-time clerks. One makes 42,000, one makes 52,000, and they have less tickets than y'all do in their full time. They have less criminal traffic than y'all do.
Y'all are busy. I'm really
So-
surprised with the tickets that
so
y'all
what-
get.
is there
All
any-
the tickets y'all get.
Is there any way we can find out what that council did? How they got those people? I mean, was there,
Oh, this council?
yeah, no, the Wimberley, say.
Wimberley, well, I
You can call
apologize, that's the JP office.
Call them and ask.
The courts are not money-making endeavors, but they darn sure pay for themselves if you manage them right. And my goal was to streamline and manage, but when I came in and made it clear, again, I'm not pointing at anybody. It takes a heck of a commitment from the city to get those lost revenues, because there's a lot of lost revenue out there. I can tell by the caseload, and that's when y'all asked me frankly, you said, well, what's it gonna take to fix it? I said, I don't even know how many cases y'all have. And I found out real fast. I mean, like you heard me, I signed 850 warrants the first month I was here. I'm not knocking, Judge, what's his name? I taught him intro to criminal law. And he's a good guy. But his philosophy was, don't issue warrants. Yeah. I mean, that was his philosophy. My philosophy is, why is that fair to the person who pays the ticket? And I'll make any concession. I think y'all heard me in court. If you don't have any money, I don't want your money. I want compliance. I don't want your money. We'll do community service. I'll take anything. If you show me that you got a PI and you went to treatment, I'll look, y'all don't hear this. I'll drop the fine. But anyway, I could tell you my philosophy all day long, but it's gonna take the council to buy in to get y'all up to speed to handle y'all's caseload. Or you gotta quit writing tickets, man.
How many tickets do y'all write? Average,
It varies depending on the month, the school's in, it just varies.
From this to this.
Hold on, y'all. I can't hear what Tommy's saying now.
As low as probably 40 and as high as 200.
That's amazing.
And that, I know that y'all have also struggled because you changed your forms to reflect the 2 days a week for the courts, but then because we're having to juggle to get Jenny here to help Candace, those days have also been changing, so we've been going around and around like, well, what do we need to put, or do we just take the days off of the tickets when you hand them out to
So
them?
that's what we've discussed. We've discussed a lot of things in this.
Yeah.
As far as, I don't want to come into this presentation, but we've discussed a lot of stuff to make it streamlined, because we're out on the street dealing with the people at that moment, right? So, we handed out a plea form, and we just discovered that the fine schedule on the back is probably hadn't been updated in years.
Yeah, it's the same
And so that's what we've been giving out.
Yep.
The fine schedule, so we just removed that.
Yep.
We talked about it, we removed the dates, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the case, we removed that, and just said, hey, contact the courts through an email or by phone. But if no one's there to answer the phone, I gotta stand up for them, and they work hard, we do give them a lot of tickets.
Yeah,
Even
Candace is
though-
working really, really hard and she's doing amazing.
And I know that Deanna Martinez and Donna Tasselberry, that are the utility clerks, have said that there are people that will come in like 3 days in a
Yeah.
row
Yeah.
trying to find the court clerks. And depending on what, you know, is happening with them, they may not be there. And that's really difficult for people trying to pay, which means that we're not bringing in current or revenue in addition to past revenue that we didn't collect at that time.
And just to throw out there, the two utility, I'm so bad with names, the two utility clerks, they're extremely friendly, helpful.
So nice, yes,
Yeah.
so good. Mhm.
Jenny, let me ask you a real quick
Yes.
question, just in case, you know, when y'all went in call from 9 to 10, do you have any idea how much that costs?
I don't, but I can get you that information.
Okay.
Yes.
I
can talk
did a
to
little bit
finance.
of, I did some quick research online. It says from 9 to 10, you move to what's called SaaS, software as a service, which is basically means you're logging in on your computer and the software is no longer resident locally. So as far as an upgrade time, assuming it is a SaaS model, that's pretty fast, right? And then it asked, so, and now you're gonna be on it said for a small or medium-sized city. And again, hearing what the judge said, even though we're 1,000-person city, it sounds like we're more like a small to medium-sized city in the volume of tickets we're writing. The fees are gonna be between $45,000 and $75,000 a year. That's what this said.
Right.
We'd have to confirm that with the company itself.
And they would ask for your caseload and give you a better.
Better estimate.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times they ask how many clerks will be using
Yeah.
Oh, right, right, how many
Licenses
licenses you
and
need?
that you have to pay for, so I think since you're only gonna have two clerks, it
Could
wouldn't
help.
be as much, you know, that
Yeah.
will help.
Yeah.
I mean, we have four clerks and Kyle, including myself, I'm number 41. So, yeah, but it helps. We have municipal court justice 10. And it's part of Tyler Technologies. It's part of Encode. It's just, you know, a newer version of it. And it works really, really well. I mean, we have had issues in the past, Judge knows, but it scans everything. And I'll tell you what, having to look at a paper docket and look at an electronic docket, back and forth, you're doing double work.
Right.
And then you only have a part-time clerk, and then I'm only here to help her when I can. She's doing double work,
Yeah.
and it's not efficient. And it's backing up the system, and it's backing up defendants, and, you know, then she has to deal with them being upset because, you know, she can't find their paper docket. She shouldn't even have paper docket, you know,
I mean,
it's not.
I'd be willing
Tony,
to.
do you have a question?
This is highly inaccurate questions, I'm not privy to, like, really, like, educate on this. Are you able to contract or outsource some of the work? Does the person have to be local to maybe do basic admin paperwork?
There's so many variables in the
Yeah.
court
Yeah,
that when you come in, and again, I take it very serious. And when you have that many variables, it's depending on somebody being arrested or not, you wanna make sure you get it right. To answer your question, I think when it comes to collections and stuff like that.
You're right.
They have a contract, they can only collect on what they receive. We backed up and not giving them anything, so they're knocking on the door wanting to know where their cases are. But yes, when that first clerk quit, I said, holy moly, we need somebody to take over so the clerk that is here can answer the phone and see the people walking in. So when they contracted with MVBA, which is one of the, there's the big five, and MVBA is one of them. They came in, and when you default on your ticket, I've asked, since we only have one clerk, to hand that over to MVBA. Wash your hands up, let them work on it and collect it. And if you use Omnibase, scofflaw, we'll catch up with them, we'll work it out. Someday they'll come back through because they're gonna need to renew their driver's license or what else. But the system, I'm on third or fourth city and it's effective, but unique to them, they have the resources to fulfill that obligation. I'm not about to say, well, why can't you get it done? I don't know what y'all's budget is, but it's a heck of a commitment. But I know my budget as the justice of the peace, and God knows I would never ever get reelected if I said we're a profit making entity, but we're a profit making entity.
Is there any way that, I mean, it's not my department, I'm just a council member. Is there any way you could y'all write this down? What you said, and maybe give it to our city manager?
I would ask, and again, I hate
We
to
have
say
it.
it, if you will, I know y'all are committed to this. Pick a couple, two of y'all that are willing to meet with the city manager, and then.
Well, the city manager could do that, I mean, y'all could recommend.
I would be willing to help out.
Could I just add one other thing? Between Greg and Deanna and I, we have spent months now since we realized with Mary Alice last summer that things were very bad. We've spent months trying to reach Tyler Technologies. Greg has even gone through his old contacts in Gilmer that also use Tyler Technologies. He's gone through his old contacts in Irving that use Tyler Technologies. And I cannot tell you how many times we have tried. You cannot call them. They don't answer the phone.
And Mayor, if you notice in my timeline, how things slowed down, I gotta give, when I met him, I was like, this dude knows, he knows the deal. So if you notice my notes stopped, I was like, he knows what's wrong. So I'm gonna leave it, I mean, no pressure.
No,
I gave it, I was like.
I'm just gonna say, just so, to put the council, so you guys are aware, I'm familiar with Encode since year 2000. But when 2000 rolled around, Irving went with Encode. And we never regretted it. It was a great system. Now it's still a great system, but now the company is corporate, Tyler Tech in downtown Dallas, and they act that way. So that's why it's hard to get a hold of people. It's almost like Encode, the company Encode, before Tyler Technologies, they built their bread and butter was from small communities like us, and they took care of small communities. It's a little harder now than they're corporate. But whatever we do, I want to be very involved in it because I'm very familiar with Encode and it's still a great software. We just don't get the customer service that they need. And so.
And that's training, it's also just questions like, how much is the upgrade? And do we have all the pieces that we need? Is it just a matter of the case software, case management software? You can barely get an answer for anything from them.
Just so you know, version 10 of Encode is on the cloud. They're all on the cloud. And if I remember right, when I talked to them, it was like for Irving, it was like $25,000 a year, not a one time. And then you get the annual software. It's on the cloud. It's expensive. I can tell you that.
If the city's ever fortunate enough to find a way to fund something like that, one component has to be training.
Yeah.
And support.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I think to start with the second clerk would definitely help to do that, before, if you can't right away do
So-
the upgrade.
So your recommendation right at this point is get another clerk.
Absolutely.
And I apologize, Councilman.
It's just.
Y'all had to, y'all don't yell at me. When you say y'all had two clerks since the existence of the city, why all of a sudden are we okay with one?
I don't run the city, dude.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, we've always had two clerks since you became the city.
Well, I
We
mean,
already budgeted for two people.
I've seen you here because I've been coming, of course, in and out the door for the last few months. I've seen how much you've helped Candace. I understand that you had a backlog of citations probably this big that
Yeah.
hadn't been processed.
Right, the first day I came, when we contacted COPSI, they said the tickets hadn't been uploaded in 46 days, was it? Something like that? It was an incredible amount of time, and I was like, that's.
And that's not fair to the
Great.
constituent.
Yeah, because, exactly, defendants want to take care of their stuff. If the citation says they have 15 days to come in and take care of it, then we better make sure that we're doing our due diligence and doing what we're supposed to on the court side. I mean, it just, they weren't being uploaded for whatever reason, I don't know.
So you've been helping her. How much have y'all caught up? I mean, are you feeling better about us
Yeah, I think it's
progressing
getting
then?
better, yeah, I mean, we've come a long way
Okay.
since January, for sure. I
Good.
mean, we're a lot more organized, they're flowing, but then, y'all are just open 2 days a week for court time.
Yeah, cause I spend the whole day back
Right.
returning 30 phone calls from the previous week. That's how many calls we get. So I spend that whole first day returning calls and taking care of those cases. Then the second day, I try to catch up. Well, I can't. You can't. In one day, you can't catch up. It's just impossible.
She'll never catch up.
You'll never catch up.
She'll never
And
catch up.
so,
Yes.
we're coming in Saturday. Both her and I are coming in Saturday to clean out that box that you're talking about, our mystery box. Of all those case files that have just not been handled at all.
And again, the clerks, I can't venture to say there was intent. I think they were just completely overwhelmed. And they didn't disclose, Mary Alice, young lady, never disclosed. And you could see things building up, and that's when I was taking notice and.
She probably just said, this is overwhelming and I'm done.
And again, the day I got, she wasn't trained.
She was trained though, I'm sorry, but I don't wanna give a misperception to that. She went to the state of Texas, week-long training, and she and Letty worked together for, I don't know, almost a year, right? Side by side, and she would talk to us, I know she told you she had not been trained. She would talk to all of us about how long she and Letty worked together side by side, learning how to do it, and she was basing the way she was trained on how she was gonna train Candace. So she had training.
Yeah, I mean, again, could she have bamboozled me? I'm sure, but I mean, I'm not a clerk, so.
Right.
But I could see
Right.
that there's trouble.
She worked 4 days. She worked 4 days. There was no excuse for what she did. None.
Well, she was here for 4 days.
She worked 4 days.
Well, she was here. Let's not say word.
He was prison.
Yeah, okay.
So Jenny, question. When we get over to where people can call on the phone, pay their tickets, whatever, just go online, how much load do you think that'd take over you guys coming in and all that?
Oh, I think that was tremendous. Oh,
When
absolutely.
you pick up the
That's like
phone,
another
they're actually taking the, you pick up the phone, you say, yes, you can get on the, online and pay this. Well,
But wait, let me just. Okay, so when we were talking about the budget and we had to make up a gap this year. Our rationale, as we talked through it, was that if we did the online payments, then we could cut down to one. You were asking earlier, why cut down to one when you've always had two? Because we had a shortfall. So we were like, well, once we get the online payment system going, then that will be like an extra clerk, so we could have one person. However, once we did that, then it was explained to us a couple of times, I think you were one of the people, but definitely the clerks also, that it's not that simple, and we didn't know that at the time, because they were saying a lot of what they have to do is work with people, because you can't just like get a citation and then go online and pay. You've got to work through the clerks to make your plea and to get whatever paperwork you need if you're gonna do the online class, the driving class, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do that.
and
So I just wanna
never-
figure this out, so I know.
never would I have insinuated that we could run this on one clerk. I mean, yes, online payments, I'm looking at the convenience of the citizen
Mm-hmm.
and less face time. My deal was always less face time with the public, less inconvenience and less anger.
But didn't you just say that once we go online, then we would have the equivalent of an extra person,
Oh,
so
she said
then?
that.
Well, it helps. It definitely helps.
But you would still need two people, or you
Yes,
just?
you still need to, but it
Okay.
definitely helps. Like for us, we have 4 clerks, but having the capability for defendants to go online and make payments and do other stuff online, upload their stuff, it really helps us. Because we would be super bombarded, you know?
We still
So it definitely is a tool that helps.
Long story, but
Not yet, not yet.
not yet.
We don't board, they don't wanna be bored.
Right, exactly, but yes, I can put it in an email for y'all and
I'm a little
Yeah.
shocked.
Yep.
You know,
I kid you not,
this.
Yeah.
it can be efficient and effective.
You can.
It's just a big commitment for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, only Dwayne could tell us how much is lingering out there and accounts receivable.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of accounts receivable out there because the warrants aren't being generated.
It almost sounds like,
Well, we've got years of warrants that go back, and there's a process that you can do, to go back to those warrants and try to collect that money. It's not happening.
So what, we obviously still talk, but I'm gonna recommend that council okays me to generate a report, bring the council within 1 month with all the recommendations, where we're at, where we need to be, and these are the recommendations. And as much as possible, there'll be a dollar figure on there, so you know
Absolutely.
what we've got to do.
And
Yeah, it
maybe
doesn't
some
sound like there's
possibilities of
fees.
where it could come from.
A little bit budget time. Where you do
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no pressure, but,
Sooner the better.
well, no, he understands the system.
True that,
I do.
true that.
Well, one thing eventually too, it'll pay for itself. I mean, it's gonna pay for itself when you're able to collect these monies that aren't getting.
Once we catch up,
Yes.
then it's, okay, now what do we gotta do to maintain?
And then you can
keep
maintain it, yeah, once you catch up and you have 2 clerks and you have the online, then it'll flow and it'll be efficient, you know? But right now, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed.
Okay.
All right.
This guy will come up tomorrow, swear.
So you can't actually take a vote on that, right? Because it's not, it's just a presentation discussion.
Kind of.
So, but informally, does anyone have an objection to that, to having Greg just bring back a follow-up report?
Well, you're just adding something to the agenda. Right, at this point, you're just adding something to the.
It would be a new agenda item.
Yeah, of course, I'll write it up if you want, yeah, of course,
Please,
please.
please.
Tommy, did you have a question?
Tommy, wanted to talk to us.
Yep, absolutely. You're next. So, okay, so then.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next meeting, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Call me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Candace. Y'all, We are going to flip our schedule just a tiny bit. We had on our agenda to do a proclamation for Hayes Caldwell County Women's Center, tonight on, being opposed to teen dating violence. However, they are not here, and so we are going to wait until next week and do it, next meeting and do it then. In the meantime, Chief is going to, probably surprise a lot of people. He has a quick,
Just real quick, that's not on the
dedication.
agenda, but I just wanna make a quick presentation. We're losing an officer. Kevin is going on to greener pastures, so I just wanted to recognize him tonight with something to, let him go on about his way and, for the good service he did for the citizens of Martindale. So I'm giving this plaque. Thanks, Kevin. He did us a good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Good luck. Good luck, Kevin. Good luck, Kevin.
Show people your plaque. It's absolutely stunning.
Cops came and got her. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really
But
nice.
you told me my magic never asked that. Yeah, let's do a photo. Let's do a quick photo. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
So our ticket number's gonna go down a little bit.
Yeah. It's fine. We don't have to be charged that.
All right. It's our whole PD here again tonight.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Your son, is he?
We love you.
Thank you very much. For your service.
Okay, next. Are you gonna miss? Next is, just a couple quick announcements. April 18th will be the citywide cleanup. Earth Day, which is usually around citywide cleanup, is April 22nd. Also, the Bobcat Build is an activity day where, the students at Texas State come and do community service all around the whole area, and it's amazing. So we have 4 recommended sites for them to come and work March 28th this year. We don't know whether all 4 will be accepted. They're sending out an evaluator from Texas State that will be here this weekend they come and to sort of look at each site and look at what you're asking the students to do, because there's, rules about they can do this or they can't do that kind of thing. So, we've asked for their assistance with 2 residences in Skyview that are on that first street that is in the city. We've asked them for their assistance in cleaning up the trash that's all along Mary Martindale Community Park. I forget if
Nice.
community is in there or not.
I thought it was Nancy.
Duh. What a great one. With Nancy Martindale Park. And we also asked them for a cleanup of the cemetery, to do weeding and maybe some pressure washing of the
Tombstones?
yes, and do branch cleanup and kind of just a spring cleanup, rake up some stuff, get things ready, just make it look a little nicer and neater. So as I said, they'll be out here this weekend and take a look at all those things, and hopefully all 4 will get approved. And then it is our last call for if you'd like to participate in the Save Your Small Town Book Study. We'll be starting that on probably the 15th. I'm gonna check with people and see what day is best. But that book, there's a copy of it on the front counter of the utilities clerk desk if you want to look at it. There's also a copy in the library, but last I heard it was checked out. But we can always bring another one over. And then we also have some in here on the counter if you wanted to look at it after the meeting. So those are ideas from other very small towns that are very practical, kind of DIY economic development ideas for Martindale. So we have 6 copies of the book. We have 5 because I gave one to Daniel Carl. And if you're interested, just let me know. You can also look it up on I gave you the information to look it up on Amazon. And then, the last one I have is that Earth Day is the, Earth Day this year. If you are parents, you can call City Hall. Deanna Martinez, the other Deanna, is heading up this project. You can call and request that your kids receive a free tree. It'll be delivered during the week of Earth Day, and they can plant it in their own yard, but parents have to help them, so parents are the ones that have to sign up. It will come straight to your kids. You can also, if you don't have room in your yard, but you wanted to plant trees, you could make arrangements with the city to either plant it in one of our parks, or Pam Roberts, who is in charge of the cemetery right now, she said that they have had several trees that passed away. That's terrible. I guess I was just thinking cemetery, but trees that died back in that Arctic storm that we had. And so if you wanted to, you could also plant a tree in the cemetery to kind of bring it back to life as well. So please, if you're interested and you're a parent and you would like to help your kids do a picture, plant a tree and take a picture of themselves with it, they can submit it on the website where that coordinates all of this. And they post all the kids' pictures next to the tree, and then you can send one back in after a couple of years when it grows, and like the kid and the tree and the whatever. And so it's just fun, and we can do it.
Can
yes,
I
sir.
ask you
Yes.
one thing? Okay,
Yeah.
you mentioned the citywide cleanup, and I would like to maybe see if the burn pile that's there,
Yeah.
if it's in the way of where we put the dumpsters, and maybe I could help coordinate with the, after the rain perhaps, with the volunteer fire department to
That'd be
get that
perfect.
burn pile either pushed together or burned.
Yep.
Also, you mentioned about pressure washing at the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
The cemetery over there currently has no water at all.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. I knew that.
There's no water, so if we do pursue Bobcat Bill to power wash, maybe we could talk with the church or maybe with the Cotton Gin, and we could monitor how much water we use in order to power spray that and then reimburse them for that. So
Get a really long hose from your house.
or a long hose from my house, yes.
Really long hose. Well, I'll do a hose landing.
We could all bring
There you
buckets
go.
one at a time.
They're all still are great.
Yes, you're right, 100%.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Donate, donate your hose.
All right, so that's all I've got for announcements. And then, who is next? I guess Greg, what did you have?
Mayor, I want to postpone that. That study is still being worked on. And so it's not ready to present, and so I want to postpone that to a later date.
Mine is just a reminder, for city council to please remember to show up on time, March 11, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. The agenda has been posted. I will send a packet, I think I can do it tomorrow, so I will send the packet out tomorrow to council members. And it will be posted on our website for the public view, but the agenda is already posted, on the website for you guys to start, kind of getting ready. There's 3 items. And yeah, just for the sake of time, please go look at the agenda in the website. There's 3 projects in that agenda. The planning and zoning will take action, recommendation for council on that day. And then just quick elections, the results, drawing on the ballot results, the order is as follows, for place 1, Yankovoy, then it followed by
I think it was me and then,
Terry Werner,
and
and
then
then
Martine.
Martin Garcia.
Mhm.
And then, correct, and then for place 3, Catherine Grace and Joy Youngers. And for place 4, Marcy Roy and Robert Moreno. And that is the order So those were the results from the drawing on February 23rd at 5:30. And just don't forget, candidates, file your financial reports. Yeah, city accountant.
City accountant, sir.
I understand here, so I'm closer to these small numbers.
Mhm.
So which month are we looking at there?
Do we really need to go about month by month and?
Not really, other than, I noticed that she put the fiscal year 25 report on here. That report I tried to bring to 3 different council meetings and, the council meetings were canceled or the report was postponed. I do want to let you know that the 25 financials were turned over to the auditor, I think about a month ago. He came and did his field work. And he's in the process of producing a report for us, and I'm trying to get it out of him this month. So that will be, should be coming to us on time. And, he hasn't issued any concerns.
Can I ask you a quick question on that? We were discussing the court, does the court revenue only show up on one line? I thought it showed up on 2 lines.
There's about 6 lines.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the big number, not the special, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just the restriction plus one.
It's probably right there in that court column. Oh, wait, no, this is the bank balances, so it'll be on the next report.
You got an echo, Dwayne.
Sure did. Somebody's phone, I think, is.
Yeah, it is.
So this is the net fund position, which is basically your balance sheet for the fiscal year through January 26th by fund. And if you go up a little, you can see.
I guess my question is, what's the revenue for the court last year?
Okay.
Is it on that report? It's not on that.
This is a this year report. We're gonna have to go to the 25 report.
It's in here though, right?
It is. If you look for the change in fund position or the budget of the special revenue fund.
There's this, I couldn't even read this, there's so many pages.
Okay, so currently $857,000 in the general fund. You track all the way over to the right for all of the other governmental type funds like the hotel tax, the parking, all of these special funds that we have. It totals. Sorry, I read the wrong number. Current assets, savings, 742. See that line right there? There's your cash. You take it across, we're at $948,000 at the end of January. There's our cash balance. If you go up a little bit, you'll see the biggest number in the liabilities is the number that we owe the state for past fines. 239,000 is what that's down to now. We continue to pay 20% of our, well, not 20%. A chunk of our sales tax revenue every month pays that down on a formula.
I thought it was 20% of our sales tax would just cut off the top, unless it varies.
Yeah, I guess it's, the thing is it's based off of, it's the same amount as the street tax for some reason. But yeah, it's.
Well, that's 0.25.
Okay.
The street is 0.25.
0.25 of what we collect, the same number goes to the state that goes to the streets. And I think that's just a coincidence, but,
Do you know, or how do we find out, Mayor, maybe you know, or recall, does the street tax portion, does that expire this year?
I don't know, but it does have to
Be redone.
redone. It's, I think the commissioner's court has some part in it, as well. Is that right?
They should send you an email.
They will, okay. We were talking about it the other day with the attorneys and we were trying to figure out how we know when that has to be put back on the ballot again.
Is they be in the county?
The comptroller's office.
It's coming out,
It should be next year. I
it's,
think.
we gotta prepare, but you gotta put it in
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
because it's before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
gotta be
it's,
done.
but it's not this.
I don't think
not
it's too late, it
2026.
would.
Right, that's what we were just trying to.
I would
figure out.
look, because you were coming, I mean, proposition still could be put on in November, where, you know. I don't
They
know.
would have sent an email.
Yeah, we haven't
That's how I
heard
knew
from
about it
anyone.
last.
Okay,
And I will say that this month is the first time in a long time we got over $10,000 in sales tax.
We've, that other thing has gone bye-bye.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the payback, we were discussing, it was going to happen sometime in the beginning of the year.
yes,
We discussed that in the budget, when we were over the
Yeah.
budget, we were guesstimating based upon the numbers where we would be, and I basically said we would somewhere, before halfway through the year, we were gonna get out of that. We were discussing, we were like, okay, well, we're gonna assume it's half the year, you know, but we know it's probably sooner.
Yeah, so that's good news.
Yeah, that's a couple thousand a month, you know, 2,500 should be. Okay, roughly 2,500.
All right, let's see what the next page is.
I don't see the year end is not in here.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think so.
We don't have
it year
It went out the other day.
it was out.
It wasn't a
The
previous.
meeting that it got tabled, that we tabled the whole rest of the agenda, that meeting, it was in the packet. So they've got it, but we can resend it if it's not in
Yeah,
the 15 pages.
My point was, we were talking about the court revenue and the expenses of the court revenue, and that's an important aspect of it.
Oh,
With regard to, you know, Greg, you talking about what is the AR balances, the main topic, the question, the reason why we had a new judge is the old judge, I kept asking that question. We're collecting X amount of dollars, and we knew that there was technology issues, but how much should we be collecting? Like, there was no really good report on the receivables, all we ever got was the cash receipt. And when when Cable came in, he said, I know there's hundreds there. And so we went to the collection agent under the pretense that we have hundreds of thousands. The way you collect it all is, you know, total, because some of it's so bloody old, you know, you got no chance, but you gotta at least try to do that process. But no one's been able to, or I've never heard one, maybe you all have, I don't know what that number is. It's a floated magical hundreds of alluded to other, like it's got another digit on or something. We know it's not that much, but how many hundreds is it? You know what I mean? Because you're asking us to spend, you know, we're dwindling our reserve right now, and you're asking us to go and basically spend another at least 50,000. I did the same research you did. It's 50 to 60,000. Bastrop paid 60,000 because it came off the budget. They paid just over 60 grand to do it. And then there's yearly fees, which are anywhere from 5 to 10 grand. So, you know, if we're only receiving X number of dollars, is it because we're not writing the tickets? Because all I hear is we're writing the tickets, but I don't see the revenue.
I
You
can
know?
tell you something about that.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't tell you how many millions of dollars, Richard, we should be. I don't know that because no one does. Sadly to say, our records are so bad at this point, and that's part of what Jenny and Candace are trying to clean up so that we can get an assessment of that. Right now, Dwayne and I were looking at that number so that we could give it to a software company about the online payments and whatnot. So for last year, our best estimate, which we concede is entirely unreliable because of the way that the files were left when Mary Alice left. Last year, we estimate 74,000 was approximately what we brought in court revenue for that year.
That's our budget was 75 for this year, so I think that's the
So
number.
we're probably
Makes sense.
about right, although we think it's probably much higher, and once they get the records sorted out, we'll know.
But
a
inherently,
more
we've
realistic-
been collecting less on the court. If you go back to the 5 year, that number has actually gone down. And, you know, partly is the service, the cover of service, and there's some traffic pattern issues which are preventing them from doing the turnaround and stopping people from speeding. But backing up of the traffic actually doesn't help
And the
us.
poor quality of the cars we have right now,
Well,
also,
that's,
they're not.
yeah, so there's a lot of, we're not getting full coverage, all the time, so there's a lot of other factors into it. But you know, I'm from a business environment, you're asking, you know, when you ask me to go spend 100,000 ish, you know, on an investment, and you're not showing me. You know, please provide the return with the report, you know what I mean?
To be
Part of-
it's not knowable entirely right within the next month, because we can't go back and figure out how much.
But you
we're
can,
submitting.
get an estimate of what's been going on, like we're getting how many tickets. I try to have this conversation with Tommy, just kind of like, hey man, don't you know, you're right, X number of tickets, it should generate without extra fees and other BS, it should generate, you know, X number of dollars. You know what I mean? And then there's additional fees that they don't pay on time and yada, yada, yada. But there should be a ballpark idea of what we should be collecting, right? And we used to collect over $120,000 a year, and now we're down to UTC 75, 80 in the main count. I'm not talking about I'm just talking about, you know, that was the report we were getting from the judge. And we're not getting those financial reports anymore.
Part of what the judge was saying was that we can't accept the payment. We are extremely inefficient.
I understand, but I just start with what should you be collecting? You wrote a ticket, and there's obviously a failure rate on tickets, and I get that. I'm dealing because I was in the car business. So
There's a failure rate on the city's part of even being able to take the payment. So some people won't pay, but from what I understood, it sounds to me the bigger problem is our inability to accept the payments.
Well, I want to prove that. You know, I want to say, listen, we wrote tickets for $200,000 last year.
And we only collected three.
75.
75.
And we only collected 75.
Yeah.
And then we should be able to look up historical information compared to other cities. They're writing 200,000. What should you be collecting? There's got to be ballpark numbers. Every business has them.
Yeah.
You know, there should be ballpark numbers we can benchmark against that. We're writing, you know, I'm just picking 100 tickets a month. I know that's not true, but 100 tickets a month, 1,200 tickets, X number of dollars is the average ticket value. You know, from a traffic standpoint, collection rate is X. You know, you're collecting 75 cents on the dollar in the first year. In the car business, we did it with a, you know, bell curve about where the sweet spot was. And it was, you know, you had these, you know, simple numbers that you're trying to fit in, and you know, every single accountant in the world has done this analysis. It's out there. You know, if you need help doing that part, sign me up. I'm good at that stuff. I do my daughter's homework, you know, in the Excel and math part to help her out with it. I check her all her work before she turns it in, because that's what I do. You know what I mean? But I've been frustrated with the court since the first time I sat over here was in the thing going, you've got to be flipping kidding me. It was, hey, you're just lucky we got money.
I'm just letting you know, I have no concerns or doubts or questions. We will get it in order. I promise you that.
Oh, it's doable. I know. Yeah. No, I believe you.
At most at a reasonable cost, if so, we'll see. But when I do the report, you'll see.
I appreciate that. Sorry to go off topic a little bit.
Anything that we're aiming for out of FY 2025 financials, or can we close that tab for next?
We were actually just looking at January 26th.
Yeah,
The last.
we don't have he said that the 25 financials is not in the packet.
Okay, so we'll bring that back. And anything else on these months?
On the 26th.
Are we gonna review October, November, December? Are we good?
They said the January one is a year to date.
Right,
So that's the one.
so we're good on these. We'll
Well,
circle back on this one next meeting.
we're doing them as a group because otherwise it's gonna take too long. So my questions are broad. So
To bring them all back? Or what are you asking?
I don't know if you want to do it here in an open session, or you want to have a meeting about it to answer my questions with Dwayne
Why
and
don't you
yourself.
come in- Yeah, why don't you come in and we'll just do a meeting, unless the other council people also want the same information, and then as long as we don't have a quorum, you're welcome to all come at the same time, or we could just put out a notice of potential quorum.
I wouldn't mind
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind joining Matthew, and I think we'd still be under a quorum, or
Yeah.
anybody else who really has.
2 is fine, yeah, three is a quorum.
Everybody else okay with me and Matthew?
yeah, we can make.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I would love to, but I think y'all would probably
We could probably summarize for you.
Well, that's what I would suggest, is just, we'll just suggest to put it on.
Because you and I worked on the budget.
Yeah, we'll just come back and add to the report that Dwayne's got it, and then we'll just highlight, and we've already, had a few conversations about some of the concerns that I have, so.
Sounds good.
There's some issues that need to be resolved.
All right,
Okay,
got it.
thank you.
New business, city fee schedule amendments recommended by the city administrator.
This is just a discussion topic. What you've got, is a model. When I went back through our code of ordinances online, I've come to find out that a lot of our fees are set through an ordinance, and I've got 8 different ordinances with a fee in each one. And that is so not good. And so I've given you a sample of a master fee and rate schedule, and I'll be working with the city attorney here with the enabling ordinance, so that when we add fees or change fees, we're just changing the master fee schedule.
Perfect.
And we'll adopt this every year, beginning of the fiscal year, and we'll go from there. Just makes it a lot easier, and we won't miss something that is still on the books as a law. So
Excellent.
that's basically it.
Do you have it in front of you?
Which one?
Do you have it in front of you?
Yes.
Go to the master fee schedule.
Okay.
There's miscellaneous fees,
Yes.
water. Scratch it out. We don't do water.
You're right. Well, but do they not charge us for anything?
They
Oh, they
don't
do.
know that we do
The
fees.
disconnect fees, they charge us. Yeah, I've got disconnect and reconnect.
It's like, no, they only charge because we have meters. The city has our own meters.
It's a city fee, it's a city bill from them.
Yes, that's the only interaction we have. They're their own.
So it disconnects to the residents, it's through them.
It's
not
that,
through-
we have no, there's no interlocal agreement. There's no interlocal. agreement.
So if we disconnect someone for not paying their sewer bill, we contract or.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, we pay, what is the fees then? I can't remember.
$57.
$57 if you're disconnected, and they go lock your water meter, so you can't make any more sewer.
We just have to change the wording on it. It can't be the water, change it to
them.
It's gotta be, we just gotta clarify that, you know what I mean? Because it's affiliated, they're turning it off because we have an agreement that they'll shut off the water because they don't pay the wastewater bill.
Okay.
So it just gotta be cause it implies that we have the water. That's all I'm saying. I knew there was a reason why it was in there.
And then there's another fee to turn it back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, disconnect, reconnect, yeah.
But didn't we have something also with the garbage? If you didn't pay your garbage, you would get your water turned on?
I think they stopped that.
I think we stopped that.
years ago.
Yeah, the only thing, Greg, if you could give us what our current rates are, is this your new proposed rate?
This is what we currently have. It's not proposed.
No, this is the current, okay.
So the master fee schedule comes from the ordinance and from Bureau Veritas.
Okay, so this is correct.
Thank you for that.
All right, so this is good. And then are you gonna make some recommendations to us about, or you want us to?
Wherever we're losing money, I'll be making recommendations on that to help it.
Great.
I don't know where we're losing money yet. I just put this together.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I understand why Jared had talked about doing this many times. It just never happened. It was, it was on the radar for the last 2 or 3 years. It was time, you didn't have the time.
But we are losing money on the sewer.
A lot of money.
A lot of money on the sewer.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that is, I've been.
You've been saying that for a while.
Unfortunately, when we talk in general, I tend to, as you know, now I dial in on one specific thing. I don't look at the city gets no, I don't care about that number. What I care about is the department is a department, is to make money or to not make money. It should not lose money. As I said, like you just said, the pass through to the customer is the pass through to the customer. Are we being inefficient? If we're charging some incredibly high amount in comparison to the rest of the world, then we're inefficient. But the flip side is it should not lose money per se. It should be. And we've always incurred the solid waste and the wastewater as a collective venture, if you will. It's shown up on the books as a utility. So in theory, we make a little bit of money on the solid waste and the garbage. to offset a little bit of the wastewater plant, so it's not overwhelming to the public.
And this is just a little branch off of this. I know there's people that can't pay. And I'll be reaching out to the faith-based organizations to see if they can help pay as part of their outreach.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't wanna raise the base rate. I mean, we already had the water companies down $75.
Mm.
I mean, it went up 25. Our base rate is what their increase was 2 years ago. They went from 50 to $75, and you know, you see our base rate's 28. You know, I mean, that's what I say is fair. You know, I mean, is it low? Yeah, but you know, now just at water and sewer, you got to pay. You know, you're at 110, probably 135, $140 in a normal household. You know, it's getting for this community, that's tough. You know, it's tough.
If I can add, any specific recommendations to the documents that, Greg has drafted, so he can go ahead and, amend it and bring it back to you guys next time?
I'm just looking for like you said, I can communicate some recommendations, but if you see something that you knowingly know is way off, that's red line knows and let us know.
as far as the ordinance goes, I'm gonna work with,
Yeah.
and craft something. Again, my past experience is Gilmer, this is what Gilmer uses, and we pass it every year. Any changes within the fee schedule, but the ordinance itself stays the same.
Right.
It's really good.
Yeah, we normally do it with the budget, but we're overwhelmed this year. So,
So then if was that just discussion only? Okay then. Let's go ahead and move on to appointment of the Parks Advisory Board member. Sonia Villalobos has turned in an application to be on the Parks Advisory Board, and that would bring them to a full 5-member advisory board. So the application should be in your packet to review. Does anyone have any discussion about that? Or do we need a motion first, I guess? So does anyone want to make a motion about whether or not to accept her application?
Make a motion that we accept the application of Sonia Villalobos.
And is there a second?
I'll second that.
And then now is there any discussion about her position?
So normally we were trying to adjust those positions to May, I think, of each year, wasn't it? When the election cycle was, so she would be starting.
yeah, what place is she in?
How,
She
yeah, how
is
is
in
this?
Corey's place. She would be replacing Corey. Corey resigned in January.
So what, is she coming up in May or not? What place is that? Good question, Katie?
It's January.
No, she is not coming up this May, she's coming up until the next meeting. If she gets.
So it would be a 1-year appointment before she would come up again for
Thank you.
reappointment.
Would be May 24th.
Did y'all vote?
Wait a minute, we were full we were full before that, for Corey?
Yes.
Okay,
There's,
okay.
anyone? Questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
On the vote?
All right, then, would you like to vote? Are you ready? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and she passes. Congratulations, Sonia, if you're out there. Next, the hot tax used for wayfinding signs. Y'all, we need to postpone that one because I had, 2 late submissions of, what do you call them, estimates for signs. So, we will bring that forward on the next one when I can have all of the, estimates in the packet ahead of time, so y'all have time to review them and look at samples of the signs and along with, how much the projected expenditures are.
Are these the city pride signs?
Nope, remember we were talking about the fact that we can't do city pride
Oh,
signs?
because it just has to be pertinent to say the business.
Yes, like duets could do one, or we could pay the $500 to do a sign for duets and for whoever else has a business that would like a sign. Or we could just do a different type of sign, like an entrance rate sign and, the signs through town to get people down here. But they wouldn't necessarily be the tech stock blue signs on the highway. So if you will please, wait until next meeting when I can get all of them into the packet in time so that we can examine them apples to apples. Then the next one is the municipal court one, to again bring back the item that was tabled last time to strike E7 on ordinance 31.09 for the municipal court and integrate it into 3110 municipal administrator. Changing the supervision of court clerks to the city administrator. Where we placed it, if you'll recall, was in a section that B1E7 is still a section that says that they will collaboratively evaluate the performance of the court clerks, and they will work together on any staffing issues, but it would put the staff, all of our staff, under the city administrator rather than putting it under the court, because the court person is only here one day a month and he feels he cannot possibly supervise the daily interactions of the court staff, and hence we had many problems with Mary Alice that could not have been easily determined because we weren't supervising her.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we change the supervision of the court clerks from, do I need to specify the actual ordinance that we're changing?
You can specify that you're moving, by ordinance or amending the ordinance.
For amending the ordinance, I would, changing the supervision of the county courts, amending the ordinance, changing, to the city administrator from the municipal, say that 4 times. Municipal, and then, get better. Municipal, administrator, is that good enough?
Changing the supervision of court clerks to city administrator.
From this municipal administrator to the city administrator.
I'll second that.
Yeah, the municipal court.
The municipal administrator is the judge, because you could have another position. So the way it's in the ordinance as you guys just want me to say municipal.
Easy for you to say.
I'm getting better.
Does anyone want to second that?
Yeah, I already did.
He already did.
Okay. Well, then, do we have any other conversation about that?
So at this point, then, we're saying that Greg will oversee the court clerk, or you mentioned all the city staff?
He already does all the other city staff.
So we're adding the court clerk to your responsibility.
Yeah.
Remember, our court was so big when we were writing so many silly tickets and we got busted on it, then that's why it was written that. Because they had 10 police officers.
That sounds very rational to me.
4 people on the clerk, and so the judge was all the time. They had a person above them.
I think it will help when I talk to Zaffarini's office about the forgiveness thing.
Yeah. So I understand the logic
But
behind it.
it's not gonna do anything about who supervises.
Well, if I'm going to reassure
Yeah.
whoever I need to talk to besides Zaffarini, I'm gonna reassure them this will not happen again, because Martindale hired a city administrator who's responsible for these people. And it ain't gonna happen again because police chief's underneath as well. So I'm just gonna phrase it like that and
Sounds good.
promise them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but was there a second?
Yeah, more.
I second.
Thank you.
That sounds, like our best opportunity to try to present a good case.
So-
Yeah, I'm on board.
So how does it help to have the police chief under the administrator?
That's normal, that's the normal.
Yeah,
That's the normal.
I thought he was under the council, or that we were,
On the day-to-day operation, he reports to the council, we're like the board of directors. And he's the president, if you will, of the corporation and the day-to-day operation.
Y'all running and I just oversee the operations and stuff like that. Good man.
Well, that sounds very rational. to me.
The hiring and firing of executive officers is,
Does anybody have any concerns
you
with?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try to explain to another.
yeah,
you
the
know,
hiring and firing is up to the council.
Yeah, Greg cannot just go, he's gotta come to council and go, I got cause. There's some level of. check
And that's for
balance.
any city employee, right? Or no?
No, that's the officers.
Okay.
Indiana and the chief.
Yeah, the officers can only be hired and fired with the will of the council.
But so changing this ordinance doesn't change that?
Well, I thought we were changing the court.
Accordingly.
The court clerk is the only thing that's changing.
Yeah,
Oh, cause I thought you said all city staff.
It's already all city
It's
staff.
already, the only
The only person that
change
he
this is
doesn't
making,
supervise right now is the court clerk.
Okay,
and now the court clerks are also gonna be under the city.
so it's not changing anything else?
Nope.
Nothing.
Okay.
And then that should be a more efficient system because you have the police writing the tickets and the clerks administering the tickets managed by the same person.
Yeah, now hopefully we could get some efficient system too, so that everybody's not so
It
overwhelmed.
could be there. Any concerns with this proposal from any of the other council members?
Are we ready to
No.
vote?
Ready to vote?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Next one is the fiber optic ordinance first read through. This was modeled after Lockhart, who, suffered many of the same damages that Martindale suffered when, they got fiber optic cable installed with all of the destruction of personal property that they, had to be called out on to repair. All of the,
Which they never repaired.
well, you need to call them back and have them repaired if they haven't.
I already had somebody do it for me.
All right. So then they also hit numerous water mains and sewer lines. So what this ordinance is intended to do is to provide, much more clear, direction in terms of who is responsible for what and what information they need to provide to the city to hold them accountable when they do have problems. It also indicates that anybody that is working to install the fiber optic lines has to be a formally trained person. So that we hopefully have less trouble with this. So it basically just provides all of the information that we were trying to figure out as it happened this time. Who do you call? How do you get this repaired? Who's going to pay for it? Are we supposed to pay for, the sewer line and then they reimburse us? Do they get to use their own people, et cetera, et cetera? So,
I've got a question here. So this is, we can't do anything about what's already happened.
Right.
This is a looking forward thing.
mhm. It's preventative because everybody, the way that fiber optic installs work, they're not allowed to use anyone else's lines. So if Spectrum wants to come through, if whoever wants to come through, some company that doesn't even exist yet decides they want to do fiber optic, every blessed one of them will come back through and tear up the streets and put in their own fiber optic cable. So, like according to our city engineers, they've worked in several communities where they do it one after another.
Yeah.
So you might just get done now with the first one and with Frontier and then next week starts Spectrum. So it's preparing for the next time we have the installs.
And then just an aside question. We don't get franchise tax from them. Are we gonna receive income from them for using our right of way?
Yeah, we already do get it.
It's a state law.
Yeah, I know, but specifically to them, when the water, with the water coming, all the other ones, it's a flat fee that's on the bill.
Are they gonna have it?
Don't you have that, the letter that you just received that you were showing me right before?
Telecommunications.
Yeah, we already get money from Frontier, we already get money from Spectrum.
Well, we get money from Frontier because they have phone lines. Yeah, and-
Right, but we
So,
will also, no, we will also, it's designated by the state, there's a.
so it'll be the same thing. It's a pass-through
Yeah.
franchise tax, right?
Yeah,
I think the law allows them to pick between the, fiber optic cable or the telephone. It's a screwy law. They don't have to pay it on both, because technically, I think the same traffic goes over in the modern age.
Deanna, is there more to this? Can you pull it up?
I mean, I've read this briefly,
well,
to
if
be
you
honest
could
with
just
you.
tell them whatever the percentage is.
So today we got this letter from Public Utility Commission. And they're notifying us of a consumer price index adjustment to the municipal telecommunications right-of-way access line rates. And so 2026 maximum access line rates have increased by 1.1157% due to inflation. And so now they're just letting us know if you want to do something about it, let us know. If you don't do anything about it, it just goes into effect as the letter states. And so it, 10 cents or whatever, it'll be more revenue to us if we don't do it.
Yeah, right now the water company is about 1%. Right, just over 1%.
That's what this letter is.
So that says it's going to be adjusted to that amount, or they're
Every year
adding
it's
that
going
to
up,
the
it's
other?
going up from last year, it's going up 1%.
Yeah, if the city does not respond by April 30th, the rates for your city will increase from 2026 levels to the newly established 27 levels.
Just a rate increase.
Okay.
So the actual.
So my next question is, who do I piss and moan about all the holes that get filled in?
We sent out, on social media and by, the news flash thing, the cards that everybody should have gotten on their doors, from Frontier. We just sent a scanned copy of it, but it provides you with the phone numbers that you need to call. We can resend that out. I think it's on our website too, but I'll double check.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I walk the dog,
Yeah.
I see, and I talked to the supervisor like 3 weeks ago, and
Oh, he can't, it's not.
well, it's not supervisor, there was an auditor guy, his boss's boss came, and I talked to him, like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring him up, there's a whole bunch, and I pointed a few out, and there's still,
Yeah,
there's still some
It gives
6-inch
you
wide
the
holes.
people. You can call the front desk also. Deanna Martinez and, Donna Castleberry both have a copy of that same door flyer.
Thank you.
Yes,
Is this
ma'am.
including the trash that they left behind, old
Oh,
wire?
no, that's our job. That's our job.
That's our
That's our
job, yeah,
job.
cause that's what we've already been doing now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
I'm curious.
Yeah, they left a
Oh.
wire, they left a wire sticking up out of my yard that my neighbor just snipped it off. We're like, okay. Yeah.
It's, man,
I tried calling, I called a couple times, I finally just.
But it's like, are you fucking serious? Excuse me.
when my wife.
I don't understand how
Okay.
a company can go and do that type of work and leave it a mess.
I mean, there was, every time they pull them, they use black electrical tape. And they throw them.
Well, I think whoever they contract with just isn't
I
really.
think we picked up hundreds of them over the last month and a half, 2 months. Hundreds.
Don't they have to post a bond if they do public work? Can you contact the bond company about that?
I did get a certificate of insurance on the other day.
After the work, you get
It's just gonna get a bond, if you do public works like that, when you contact the bond company, they could really put a dent in them.
Well, I would go about it, I think, in
Nicer.
command, maybe,
That's what you mean, get.
I mean, he was just asking for the phone number, so
Yeah.
maybe like try calling the phone number first, and then if
Right.
you're not happy with that, then let us know, because we will talk to our engineers who have already established a problem-solving protocol with them, and then if that doesn't work, then maybe go to the bond company. But I think it would be probably better, smoother if we just follow this.
I have always heard But if you call the PUC on
Okay, let's just back up, let's just back up a little, maybe we'll just call the phone number first. Then
them,
we'll,
hey, that doesn't work.
sure,
They-
sure, you're about 4 steps away from there right now, so let's just go progressively and see what happens. So far, the engineers have reported that anytime we've had to call them to get them involved, when it escalates beyond the residents calling themselves about their own property, the engineers have gotten everything taken care of. And when they have hit our sewer lines, Pete has been able to resolve it himself. So I think Frontier has been overall very willing to make repairs, for the damage that they've done. But you have to follow the right reporting channels or they don't know. Because it's contracted out to people that don't know.
Are we billing them for Pete's time and work?
Anything that is for, if it's for repairing things that
And
you would
inspection
normally
time.
do,
I
and
got any money back from them, but I billed them like, I want to say about $8,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, the water company, I spoke to Steve, that
Yeah.
one on Northwest River Road right by,
Mhm.
you know, that went alone, because they, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 spots in one,
Okay, so
two,
go down.
3 houses, they kept busting it. Their bill was $8,000, he said.
So,
Steve said, yeah, I billed
if you
$8,000.
look in here, it does, the agreements that they have to, make with us do specify, who's responsible for those things, and it specifies that they'll pay for Pete's time.
Do they have to put a deposit down?
You know, they ought to, some kind of physical.
Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see, I won't look through this quickly. I'm just curious if that's something that is normal protocol.
Can we ask them to put a deposit down? I don't even know if legally we're allowed to.
I don't know off the top, the telecommunications statute is very particular, but we can look at that.
I mean, if they can't, I get it. They have very good lawyers. I know they can hire good lawyers. It's a big business. They have very good lawyers.
So we will, let us do some research into that and we'll get back to you. Any other questions or thoughts? It sounds like maybe, you might need some more time to
Yeah,
review it
I
and
read it.
think about it.
I'll be honest with you, I did not read, this is like the one thing I barely skimmed through.
Okay,
I
that's
need to
fine.
be in the
It's
right
just
frame
the
of mind
first,
to read
it's
it.
why we have a couple of read-throughs,
Yeah,
so.
this one's actual hard reading for me.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Come on.
But it is really important and it will be very important for future installations now that we've seen how awry things can go. So, do pay attention to that and compare it to what we experienced and see if there are gaps that we still need to fill in order to make sure that the next time goes more smoothly.
Aside from further research on a possibility of deposit, would you all wanna move on to the next item, or are we
Yeah, I'm done with it.
further discussions? Okay.
All right, and then 3.6 was added for Matthew asked for that to be added to evaluate council appointed officials. So we only put that as a discussion item right now because we just want to open that conversation and find out, like right now, we would need to figure out what that's gonna look like, what kinds of criteria, and how we would wanna go about doing that. Would it be like one official at a time, like one official per meeting? Would it be a form that's just open-ended? What do you want it to look like? What do you want to include in it?
I think the problem I have, this is the problem I have. As a council member, we have a right to put something on the agenda.
And he did, yeah.
Let me speak, Mayor. I got the floor here. We filled the paperwork out March 5th, and there was 2 signatures, and we request, employee review of blah, blah, blah. and signatures were there. And it was not done according to what we want to put on the agenda. Now, let's go back a little history. I've been doing this stuff for 8 years, okay? I've been here longer than anybody. I've had this problem before. I had this problem in 2018 to get the can ban ordinance on. And that problem was the same problem I had before. And I'll read a little email here. And I said, I got the copy of the email. It says on resolution 20180911-3, whereas requests for an agenda item should be finalized via email with the appropriate paperwork no later than on 5:00 p.m. on Wednesday prior to a scheduled meeting on Tuesday, which I'm requesting with this email. So this and then unfortunately, somehow we cannot find that resolution, but it's there. And I went through 7 months to get this as an agenda item. And as a council member, I have a right to put something on the agenda. And as far as I can reflect, in the last year, I have not been able to put anything on the agenda.
Can you tell me what you asked to put
This
on it?
I just said, man, we requested this and it did not happen.
I do wanna mention that, can we circle back about specifically that this item, discussion process for evaluating council appointed officials? It is to develop a process, can we circle back on? What? We're talking about,
I didn't understand your wording. What did you want?
To redirect topic, please.
Okay. So you want to go back to discussing what process we should use to evaluate the council?
We've already had a process before. We've evaluated people before in executive session.
Okay.
What did you want? The,
My point is.
What did you want
My point is, Matthew and I requested something to be put on the agenda. It was not put on the agenda.
so what did
And
you
this happened
request?
before, to me in 2018. It finally happened, okay? So there's a problem with that. They should reach out and speak to us if there's an issue, but not, if we request something on the agenda, we have a right as a council member, put it on the agenda. Everybody agree with me on that?
The way, so to give you a little backstory for those that don't know, this was an issue back when, long time ago, back in 2018. The council actually, by consent, approved a resolution that said that if 2 council members put something in writing, that the item would go directly on the next agenda meeting period, end of discussion. Whether, 2 people on council put it on, if everyone gets here and says, we wanna postpone it, we're not ready, that's the whole thing, then it goes on the council, it goes on the thing. The ordinance, miraculously, for some reason, is not available online. All the other ordinances for that, actually, there was 4, I think there was 5 for that particular meeting, and 3 of them are there. But they're not all there for some reason. So what I'd like to do is a couple things. One is I'm gonna send you a copy of this email. This is word for word with the ordinances. The previous attorney confers this is exactly the wording of the ordinance. And I'd like to rewrite it and put that in there somewhere and rubber stamp it so we have it and scan it and it's proper. Because obviously that's the right thing to do. If the physical one has disappeared and it didn't get scanned or it got whatever, stuff happens. Okay, is to recreate it. The second is that my concern is I want to do the review. We haven't done a review in 19 months. The third is I have issues with what's going on because the budget that we've spent already on the attorney fees so far this year is over 150% through 4 months. So we've blown this budget up. The budget for the attorney fees is $25,000. According to the reports that we have, we've already spent $37,796.77. So we've already spent $37,000, even though we're in budget for 25. So yeah, I want to review what people are doing that work for the city. Because this is not acceptable. So that's why I went on the agenda. It was put in writing. It was a form that was approved by council over a year ago. I helped write it. I'll be honest with you. Took it from the mayor, got it from the commissioner's court. We modified it, put the logo on for the city, and the council approved that one. But the other aspect that Mike is referring to in this email is an email that was sent June of 2019, which is the following year after the ordinance was approved by the council. So we've got a double thing going on. We would like to clean this up. So I'll do a request to clean this up. I'll send you a copy of it. Mr. Bunker was the mayor at the time.
No, he wasn't.
Was he on council?
Kimberly Smith.
Kimberly, but he was on council.
No, he wasn't.
You sure?
No.
Okay, you know better than me. I wasn't even here. I was watching from afar.
What does, wait, I just wanna know what we're talking about, discussion item 3.6, what does that have to do with wanting to get something on the agenda? I don't
Well,
see
no,
the correlation.
the mayor saying I requested this item on the agenda. I did not request this item on the agenda. What I requested was a discussion, action, executive session, employee reviews of city manager, city accountant, police chief, acting city attorney, acting city administrator, and the assistant city manager. To put it on to do the reviews. That's what I asked for. That's it. Now we're discussing the procedure. The procedure is, we do a review. If you guys wanna get out a form, or you want me to write a form, I'm more happy to provide you a downloaded form. What I've used in the past for employee reviews, we've done it before, we did multiple. We did it 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago, we did employee reviews. So all we have to do is pull the employee's file out and look at the reviews that were done before. They're there. So let's pull them.
Well, it seems like wanting to do employee reviews and then mentioning about not getting something on the agenda are two separate things.
No.
No.
To me, it seems like.
No. Something on the agenda, the turnaround is we're discussing how we're gonna process it, and that's not what I requested. I did not request this particular line item. I clarify, I request to do an employee reviews. That's what I asked for. That's all I asked for. I didn't ask for the how to, whatever. Pull the file. You guys can write up the employee review and pull it from the previous reviews, or if you didn't know how to do it, email me back. Matthew, do you have an employee review? I'd have given you one. But this needs to be on the agenda. Now, if you want to discuss about the process of not doing everyone the same meeting, I totally understand that. But the judge was here to have a discussion with the judge that we haven't seen in 6 months. He kind of basically gave his own employee review. He did a good job, mind you, but
Just so I'm clear.
Yeah.
So we've got staff we hire, and then we have appointed employees. Are y'all talking about appointed?
Yes, only employed.
Okay.
All of
That's another question.
That's why only the appointed are mentioned in this, and I have what I sent you was only, I know my little box.
Okay.
I understand my box. I try to stay in my own
I had a
sandbox.
misunderstanding.
So I try to stay in my sandbox as much as possible. And if I have a problem, I'll have a conversation. I try to leave you alone. You got enough to deal with. I'm very good about it. I don't want to get involved in your day-to-day stuff.
And back to 2018, that was a very, very contentious ordinance, very contentious. I had 2 ethics violations filed, that's another story, but Kent, the attorney at the time, told the mayor, I followed the procedure, I have a right as a council member to put it on the agenda, and we did. Took me 7 months, but we finally put it on the agenda, and the attorney said you have to put it on the agenda because that's our procedure.
So if you like.
Want to say something? You want to say something? You got something to say, Natalie?
No.
Okay. This is a sore subject with me. Okay. Yes. Okay. I've been doing this a long time.
Not contesting that at all. I was just reiterating what you said to him.
We have a right as a council member to put something on the agenda. The way we state it. That's, I'm gonna leave it at that.
You don't know how many years I tried to get something on the agenda, 4 years, and it never happened, okay? Come on. And I'm not complaining about it now.
So then we, either way, need to, what do you want to discuss what's on the agenda now, or would you like to just not? We have an agenda item. Would you like to discuss it?
No. Well.
All right.
I don't need to discuss how to do a review. I know how to do a review.
Maybe you do, but it's not up to you, it's up to the council, so I would like the council's
Well,
perspective.
I apologize, Mayor, I did not bring a performance review with me,
Right,
so.
exactly, so
So
that's
there's one
why
in the
it's
file.
on here as a discussion.
There's one in the file for every one of the officers that were.
And it's up to the council if they would like to continue using what we've always done,
Well,
or
we
whether
don't
they
have a
would like
copy of it.
to. No, we do not.
So you do.
Would you like to stop and like?
I don't have a copy of it, Mayor, you're asking me to
Matthew,
report on something.
Matthew, if
that I
you'd
do
like
not
to
have a
ask
copy
us
of.
to table it, you may make a motion to table
We're not
it.
gonna table, we didn't run it that way. That is not what
Okay,
we
does
requested.
anyone else want to either contribute to the conversation or table the issue?
I would move that we table the issue.
Fantastic, does anyone want to second that?
Let's just try to replace it again.
Would anyone like to second it?
Hang on.
So if we postpone it, that means it
So
has to be
if-
put on the next meeting's agenda.
To be, just to be fair. What I think I understood is that 3.6 isn't what two members of council wrote in to be placed.
You are
It doesn't-
correct.
It does not reflect what you wanted.
Exactly,
So discussing something that you didn't want probably
Correct.
isn't gonna be productive.
correct. You got it right.
So either we can, the city can review what was submitted and put it on for the next agenda, reflecting what was submitted, or if you guys need to clarify what was submitted, clarify.
No, I don't need it.
So what they submitted go on the next agenda?
There you go. Put it on the next agenda. That's easy.
Honestly, absolutely, we had no idea, other than the fact that, like, it seemed like a conversation worthy of the council's discussion, how the council would like to evaluate, and if the ultimate decision of the whole council was, we would like to continue using the last time's form, that's fine. If you would like to not, then that's fine, but I was not going to come here and say tonight, spring it on you and go, oh, hey, we're gonna go right now and just randomly do this, because most of you haven't even participated in that, so you don't even know what we've used, and maybe you had ideas. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking council as a whole if they have ideas about it.
I see. So the discussion to be had on 3.6 is what the current process for evaluating appointed officials is, and do we want to continue using the
Yes,
existing process?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
To have that conversation, yeah, I don't know what the existing process is, unfortunately.
They've done it, I don't remember who it was, I saw it done for council, but I don't know.
Well, I know I had spoken to you recently about appraisals of employees, and I thought when Catherine was here too, that we had something about 6-month appraisals, that every 6 months we would appraise employees, like they would come in, they would give us input, we would say this, but then you had said to me, well, I don't think there's anything in writing that actually says that there are appraisals to be conducted every 6 months. I don't know if.
I remember that we discussed,
I thought the chief had one.
wait, hold on. I thought when you and I discussed it, I thought what I remember of that conversation, which is probably not it in its entirety, but I thought we were talking about the difference between evaluating staff and evaluating appointed officials. And that council does not evaluate staff, only appointed officials. But then I have not personally found, because I did look for a thing that defines, here is the procedure, here's the process, here's our policy on how council will evaluate. So that's why I thought it was worthy of a conversation just to ask.
So have you found anything?
No. There are letters from Jared to various employees in their file that basically just say, things that a normal, staff evaluation would say, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example, like, we've noticed that you've got errors in your reports and you need to be more accurate in your reports. That kind of thing. And that's fine, but it's very generally written. It's not, it doesn't have criteria. It doesn't have anywhere that I've worked in terms of human resources. It has been very important legally that if you're doing evaluations of someone's performance, that there are criteria available and that the criteria are available to the person who is being evaluated before the evaluation, so that you make sure that they can't come back to you and say, you just evaluated me on a job based on criteria I never knew I was supposed to be fulfilling. So typically there's a process that has to be followed. And they are made aware of it beforehand. So since we can't find anything in writing, I thought I would ask y'all, how has it been done in the past? Where did the criteria come from? What did that look like?
I thought in the past we had done employee evaluations on employees. We had certain questions. It was based on numerical criteria. And you would say, I'm rating this a 5, you're rating this, and I think we did one on the accountant. I think
we did it on everybody. We did it over 3 seconds.
So where are those forms that we were using that?
And where did they come? Were they part of a written policy? Were they just a form that someone created for the purpose of
I
doing
just
that evaluation?
took it as a form that we used because
Okay.
we used that on the chief of police. We used it on the accountant, and we were going through a set questions with an evaluation, numerical evaluation, and then you looked at it all, and then you added it up, and then we all came up with something.
Okay.
I don't know where that form came from.
But I think what I hear the mayor saying is that that form and that criteria may not be part of the employment agreement or may not be part of the understanding of the employee. In some cases, not all employees understand how they're going to be evaluated. And then they're evaluated on something that could be a surprise.
Arbitrary.
Well,
Yeah.
the main reason we do that executive session is private. So that information is not known to the public, and we can't repeat that.
Right.
That's why we go in executive session
Sure.
for evaluation, and that is between us and the one being evaluated.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why it's executive
So
session.
it doesn't sound, well, I should phrase it a different way for everybody. It sounds reasonable for employees to understand what their evaluation criteria is going to
So
be
I'm
before
gonna
they're evaluated.
cut in for clarification. There is a difference between employee and there's a difference between an appointed official.
Sure.
Many appointed officials have statutory criteria for what their expectation is and what they're statutorily required to be doing. City secretary is an example, it's the most robust under type A. You also have your ordinances that lay out duties and expectations. So there is a difference between evaluating an appointed official who can be terminated for lack of competence. You don't have to have done anything wrong to not have the confidence of the council. And so there's been a lot of interchanging language, and I just want to be very clear that there is a marked difference between an employee who has the job description set by the council and an appointed official whose job description is in ways set by the council through ordinances, but is often statutorily spelled out with expectations.
So then to create an evaluation for a statutorily appointed person, we would go to the ordinance and make a list of, yes, I'm sorry. And make a list of what those things are that they are required to do.
If that's how you want to do it, not all cities have forms, some cities have forms, you can look at that, you can pull up the statute, you can have it printed out, and then you go through each item that people are required to be doing, and you can chat about it. If you want a form for note taking, you can. But it should align with what's statutorily required and then any expanded duties under.
Okay.
So yeah, I just, there's,
Thank
I
you.
just want to be clear that there is
Right.
some
Makes sense.
difference.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm hearing is for appointed employees, a lot of that criteria already exists. It doesn't need to be included because it's either in an ordinance or in a statute.
Yeah, and if you want, you can just print that off and go through and, to Mike's point, that is an executive session item, it's under personnel. It's only in public if the appointed official requests that to be in public, but it does require specific listing of their title since it is an office. So if you're going to review, us, you have to put city attorney's office. If you're going to review city administrator, you have to place the city administrator, for those reviews because the law says that there is, great public interest in knowing when public officials are being evaluated. To how I think, Matthew sounds like he submitted, so that's in line with how it should be listed on the agenda with personnel.
Okay.
So the city's been doing irregular and, I mean, I'm just asking, how have y'all been doing a review? Y'all, the city, how has the city been doing a review on anybody?
We did do reviews.
I know you
I
did, but
think everybody that's on council pretty much was involved in that. And we did a review of everybody just to see if there were expectations that weren't being met, that maybe the official didn't even know that there was an expectation. And everything went.
It was very educational and informative for both parties.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved in that. Terry, do you remember being involved in that before?
The only thing, I thought y'all did a review of the chief when when both of us were on council. That's the only one,
We did like 2 officers.
that's the only ones I remember, the officers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
remember that.
Like the police chief does his own.
Dwayne was the last one I think.
I think
We did the police chief, we did.
Yeah.
We
did chief,
the
right?
judge.
And you did the
No, we
judge.
everything.
Oh, we did do the judge.
We did the judge, that's what started the whole.
Yeah.
That's what started the whole.
but.
No. Oh, but that wasn't an executive session and that wasn't an evaluation.
Yeah,
It was.
Yes, and it's always an executive session.
oh, yes, it
But it
was.
wasn't a formal evaluation, the way that I recall it. I remember us just,
Oh, no, it was.
of being concerned about the fact that he hadn't appeared in so long.
No, we also had,
We
had a
each
review.
officer.
We had a review. And that pretty much became the springboard. That things needed to change.
Okay,
And I was pretty sure you were in it. I have to go back and look at when that was, but I was. Yeah, you should have been. Yeah, and we were doing 2 every meeting. We did 2.
For 3 meetings in a row.
Yeah, we did 2. We did 2.
We did this.
But I will blatantly tell you, we did the judge and we're like, okay, we're. He really didn't want to do it. You know, you could tell he just didn't want to do it anymore. He was doing other stuff. He wasn't focused. And he just became I'm making too much money doing this. Why am I don't, like, well, then stop doing it. Go do that. He wasn't helping.
so,
It was a nice time for this council to get to chat, because, in a setting like this, you don't really get to know someone. But when we got to spend 30 minutes with each person, then we could ask them about their jobs and ask them what they wanted from the council, and then ask the
Yeah, very
council.
but I was absolutely not involved
Each
in that.
person.
It was very civilized.
Yeah, I believe that, and I believe you did all of those things, but I know I was not part of that assessment.
I only remember the chief. I don't remember talking to any of the officers. I thought he evaluated. the
No,
officers.
not those officers. We're talking about appointed officers.
Right, I
Yeah.
got it, but I thought that was the chief. And then he
They
evaluated.
his own office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one. I don't remember going person by person either. Maybe that was before us. I don't know. I don't remember doing 2 people a week for 3 meetings in a row.
And having 30 minutes to get to know them and ask them what they wanted from council and all that.
But that doesn't mean it didn't happen, but.
I know, yeah. No, I believe it did happen. I
We
just
don't
think
know
it
when
was
it
the-
happened,
But
maybe.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I
Are we
just-
on council or were we not?
I believe it.
Cause I know y'all
happened,
did
but
reviews,
not.
cause I watched the meetings and y'all had executive sessions before I was on council, so I remember it being done. I just don't, I
You
just
don't
don't
remember
remember.
participating. You don't remember
The
participating.
only one I
That's fair
remember
enough.
participating, I thought we participated in was the chief. That's the only one I remember.
I agree.
All right. Can I take the next motion?
Yep.
Unless you guys want to discuss the future agenda items.
Oh, you're gonna make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah. So I'll make a motion, we adjourn at 9:16.
I'll second that.
All in favor?